This is Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Live from the plushly appointed studios of WQAM, your sports bag headquarters, it's the Jorge Rodriguez Show. Everybody's favorite cryptic son of a bitch. Join George and his guests, Jesus Christ, Alan Tooth, Genghis Khan, Sammy Khan, James Khan, Jessica Haas, Nietzsche, Donna Michi, Kierkegaard, Harvey Firestein, Al Goldstein, Joe Costello, Lou Costello, Greg Reed, Robert Reed, Lou Reed, Donna Reed, Bluff Lindsay, John Lindsay, Lindsay Buckingham, Jim Jones, Dave Koresh, Some Young Moon, Dave Madden, Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson, Mason Reese, Oblio, Andy Dick, Dick Armey, Joe Rose, Pete Rose, Rose Marie, Napoleon Kaufman, Martin Buber, Herschel Barnardi. Matty Lesher will attempt to balance a plate on his penis and sliced roast beef for his beaver. The Jorge Rodriguez Show is brought to you by the Taoism Game of Life board game. You'll say, wow, it's Tao. Why are you airing shit like this?
First, rockers paid homage to the dead. Then there was Common Thread, the Eagles tribute, and Kiss My Ass to the band Kiss. Now, Capitol Records is proud to present an LP honoring the Captain and Tennille, the most dynamic musical duo of the 70s, featuring artists who absolutely hate this trash, like AC/DC.
You better stop, God! I really love you! Now my thinking of you! Look in my heart and there's love that keeps us together! Keeps us together!
The Captain and Tennille. They had more hits in the 70s than the Gambinos. Hear Pearl Jam do Muskrat Love.
Muskrat, candlelight, doing the town and doing it right.
Man, this sucks. But there's more. Country great Johnny Cash performs a song that meant a lot to him when he was on drugs.
I never wanted to touch a man the way that I wanna touch you. Well, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Oh, wrong song.
Order now and get this fabulous song off the forthcoming tribute to Barbra Streisand, as done by Metallica.
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world.
Capitol Records, #1, bringing you music that's #2.
MONDAYSUCKS. I just had to play that because, boy, I really don't like Mondays, and this one in particular. I almost called in sick. I almost called you at home and told you to put a tape on. Any tape will do. Just because I didn't feel like it. I mean, I got to bed early enough. I didn't do anything of consequence this weekend except sit around. I sat real hard. I sat down often and hard. Well, the kid was away. The kid was away staying with a dysfunctional grandma, so we inflated the inflatable pool. We have a large inflatable pool, which is a notch below the above-ground white trash pool, which we're still debating about whether or not to get. I'm resisting it with everything that I have, getting an above-ground pool, because, I mean, we don't have a trailer, so why would we have an above-ground pool? And that's what it all equates to me. It's all the same thing. So we inflated it's pretty inflatable. In other words, I can, like lay out spread eagle on it and submerge myself completely. Not that it has to be very big to accommodate me. But, so we sat in the sun and baked all weekend long. How do I look? I didn't use anything. I didn't oil up or anything like that. I'm still working on the tan, and then I'll work on the body a little slowly but surely. Didn't do anything. Didn't go see Matrix. I told everyone. I waved the white flag on that. I had to surrender to everyone about the Matrix thing. And eventually I will go see it. Everyone says Keanu only says 50 words in the whole thing. So maybe one of these matinees. But Joe has to go with me because you have to hold my hand. I don't want to go to a movie alone. How sad would that be? Like a movie critic or something sitting there with my clipboard?
I'll go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. How you doing today, Chris? It's Monday. Are you excited about that? I really didn't want to come in today. Not fear of doing a show, just getting up and getting dressed and shaving and all that wonderful horse crap. So I didn't do anything over the weekend. More stories, more shows about the kids. Everyone's still obsessed about the kids thing, so I guess we're going to do just a little bit more today, but not so much about the kids, but more about the other stuff. We're going to talk about clothes and fashion and the fashion industry and fitting in general, what the clothes have to do with fitting in. Because, like I mentioned before, in other places, it ain't so big a deal as it is in the big city, especially the East Coast big cities. And I used to think New York, everyone told me that New York was way more fashion-oriented than South Florida. And that might be the case for the fashion industry as far as the fashion shows and people buying the haute couture, the haute couture crap and everything like that. But when we were walking around New York, I saw everybody walking around just motley, whatever they were wearing. It was a mishmash. It was a free-for-all, as opposed to down here, at least the way it was in high school and now in the workplace, but mostly in high school because we're on high school this week, or at least so far. The papers don't seem to have much about anything else except for the killing thing. So the clothes thing, because everybody's talking about the goth look and the trench coats and the this and the that. And I didn't have money for clothes when I was in high school, not at all. You know, you're at the victim of your parents. And no question, my mom dressed me funny. And I wore third-generation hand-me-downs and stuff she got. I don't know where she found the clothes that she found for me. They came from stores. They were in bags. They had receipts. But I swear to God, that was the only indication that I got that they were from a store. Otherwise, I would have thought that she'd stolen them off some bum or out of a dumpster or at like the Jewish thrift, except we were down in Homestead in the Redlands. But they were, they had names like, J.C. Penney, Burdines, Zayres, for what it's worth. I would have been very happy with Zayres clothes, but my mom dressed me in really ridiculous things. Thank God, at least for most of my high school years, I was living with my sister, and she dressed me normal. She got me normal things, as in jeans and T-shirts, and that's all anybody wore in Montana, for the most part. If you're a guy anyway, that's all you wore, and that's all you needed to. And the girls, as always, as is the case anywhere else, they were a little bit more versatile, a little bit more extravagant with the clothes and everything else, as women are, for some reason, because they haven't realized that they don't have to do anything. So then I get down here to South Miami. And what a culture shock, just a shocker in every way I can imagine that was. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, some people didn't tune in on Friday. Neil's gone for the week. I just thought I would mention that because that'll save you a lot of trouble throughout the week and throughout the rest of the day. Where's Neil? Where's this guy on there? Neil took a vacation. He'll be back on Monday. Live with it. It's this or the tapes. I won the vote. So be it. I get paid the same way either way, except this way we get to whore the show, like for free food and free electricians and the horseback riding thing. By the way, the horseback riding thing, people keep calling and leaving messages on the voicemail. Did you ever find somebody where you can go horseback riding? Yes and no. Yes, lots of horseback riding places. Lots of people rent horses around. No one that I've been able to find so far will let you take the horse into a full run. Some people will let you canter. Ooh-wee. I'm sorry that running the horse is what it's all about. If you're a little kid, just being on the horse is a big thrill. But for some of us, once you've gotten a horse into a full run, that's what it's about. Hey, Joe Costello, we're going to talk about your racing thing and about Woody? Ooh, what a Freudian slip that was. Footy's aberrant comments a little bit later. But if you went to a race and they said, hey, you can't go above an idle. Keep your foot off that accelerator whatsoever. Now drive this car. How much fun would that be?
None.
None whatsoever. Clop, 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 clop.
Especially if I was qualified to drive the car.
Exactly.
It'd be an insult.
And I'm not what you would call a horseman. I've never owned horses or anything like that. Just because of where I was in the Redlands in North Carolina, Montana, and all these rural areas where I was, everybody had a horse. At least you always knew somebody or some buddies that had horses, and at least on semi-regular occasions you could go horseback riding with your friends on their horses, and running it is what it's all about. Getting that horse into a full run is what it's all about. Therein lies the thrill. So, clothes. Where can I ride a horse and get it into a run? We're going to go see The Matrix. Maybe not this afternoon. I got some phone calls to make. But like, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll give in. Star Wars goes on sale May 12th. The advance tickets, there's going to be Scalp Mania. They just had an article there. The movie opens the 19th. The advance ticket sales start on the 12th. Are you camping?
Maybe.
I'm not gonna camp. I'll make some kind of arrangements. I'll use radio powers and make some kind of an arrangement. But I'm not gonna roll out the sleeping bag on a sidewalk. Too old.
Have someone camp for me.
Have someone camp for you? There's an idea. Pool our resources. Hire a designated camper, a designated scalper, as it were. 11:10.
Give them a couple of bucks, pay for their ticket.
10:11. I'm doing the time. You want to do a break today? I'm just kidding, man. 11 after 10 on QAM. One moment, please. One other moment, please. Okay, now.
Only one South Florida radio station has the hammer, and you're listening to it. At Goldberg, weekday afternoons at 2. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hold it right there, mister. There's been a crime. We got a report. 4:30 this morning. Man wearing clashing colors and loud pants. Waking up neighbors. Scaring the dog.
Not a pretty sight.
That's right. We're the Fashion Police. Let's read them his rights, Joe.
All right, you have the right to a new tailor.
If you wish to make a fashion statement, any clothes you pick will be held against you.
Alterations will cost you extra.
Look at that tie.
It looks like a lobster bib from Seafood Shanty.
Yeah, we could park a Buick on that.
And look at those pants.
Is this an interaction?
They're okay if you're waiting for a flood.
I've heard enough, Joe. Take off his pants and cuff him.
Right. But cuffs are out, Frank.
Didn't say interaction.
Right. In that case, we'll give him a suspender sentence.
Come on, buddy.
What you've just heard is true. Only the trousers have been let out to protect the inseam. If you should see anyone wearing stripes with plaids, call the Fashion Police.
You don't think we just heard only one channel of that? It was coming out of both speakers. It didn't say interactive. It just seemed like something was missing there. I mean, we do have a bit for everything. Fashion Police, that sounded right. I don't recall ever playing it before, or the old man either. But I thought, hey, it didn't say interactive on the thing. So, hey, whatever. 10:18 on QAM. So the fashion thing, like I said, and I hate, people are going to get really tired of me comparing Montana to here, but that's all I can do, because I can't think of two more radically different places, in terms of the value of humanity, as far as real taste, real values. As in, up there they appreciate what kind of a person you are as opposed to what you were wearing. And I'm the perfect example of that, because I wasn't dressed to the nines. I wasn't a snappy dresser like our Joe Costello here is. I wasn't a clothes horse, a fashion plate like Joe Costello. I was just about as ordinary as anyone could be in either place. Same guy, same clothes, different locations. In one place, worked out fine. I looked like everybody else for the most part. Just, only the slogan on the T-shirt changes from one person to another. Jeans, tennis shoes, or hiking boots, T-shirts, whatever. That's the dress code for a male in Libby, Montana, and I'm sure it is today still. And for the females, a little bit more than that. And then I come to South Miami Senior High, 2,300 kids. And I was an immediate mutant walking in the schools. And I'm slow. I didn't even pick up on it at first. I didn't even understand why no one was talking to me. Why, when I'm standing in line at the cafeteria, and I'm not particularly glib or boring. I'm just a normal guy. I'm used to being able to strike up conversations with people. Or if something is said, being able to, just get right into a conversation, talk about whatever, current events, things like that. Did just fine. Suited me fine everywhere I was except down here. And I didn't understand it at first. It took me a while to figure out, oh my God, I'm not passing the dress inspection. I don't have a designer label hanging off my ass. Sasson, Sergio Valente, Jordache. That's what was going on 1981-82 when I was getting ready to graduate down here, senior in high school. And a lot of the issues that have been coming up around this whole shooting thing is that these guys weren't fitting in. First, they didn't fit in. Then they started wearing the trench coats and the black and stuff like that. I'm not blaming clothes. I'm not blaming, although we can put some blame on the jocks because, as Joe was telling me, and I heard some of those things, a lot of the email, a lot of the interviews that have been going on with kids around the nation, some kids are piping up and saying, yeah, I'm glad those jocks got it, is some of the commentary, which is spooky to me. But that's what's going on, is you do have, all over the country, you have these jocks, these asshole jocks, that walk around like their don't stink and treating people like crap. And I never experienced it personally except when I was in the sports. You know, you have the hazing, the initiation, and all that stuff, which is totally gay, but nevertheless, that's all part of it. So I was never, abused by the jocks per se, but I guess people were. Wherever I was, people were. I mean, it didn't just like leap out and hit me in the face, but you hear it. You hear it from these kids all the time, especially right now when they're talking to these kids about the jocks. Not just the jocks, but them particularly, because everybody kisses their ass. Teachers, the parents, all the other kids' parents teach their ass. And I think it's funny because I'm reading this article this morning from the Sun Sentinel, and I mentioned this before a while back about how sports, games are made to be played. They're supposed to be for people to have fun, and we make too much out of them. The Eric kid, Eric Harris, was in Little League. He didn't particularly like baseball, but his father pushed him into Little League. And we had a thing on the news, I saw it over the weekend, where he was in Little League, but he never hit the ball. And I didn't understand whether he didn't intentionally hit the ball or, as in he didn't swing or he couldn't hit. I didn't gather I couldn't figure out what they were trying to say. Did he never take a swing or did he never connect? What were they saying? Whatever the case, he didn't, what is it?
He never connected.
He never connected. Oh, he sucked, in other words. He didn't like it, he sucked. But his dad pushed him into it anyway. And I've been there. I went to see my little friends play Little League, and I saw not only their own parents, but other kids' parents yelling at them, in some cases swearing at them for making mistakes, for generating errors, for oops, the ball went through my legs, or for swinging, and missing, for striking out. Getting yelled at. And I'm like, this is supposed to be a game. Games are supposed to be fun. All these assholes, all these, little assholes in the stands living vicariously through their children. If you're so good, why aren't you down there, asshole? Fat ass, fat gut hanging over your belt, yelling at your kid because he can't hit a ball. Like that matters? So down here, it was a horrible thing, not being dressed right. And there was no hope for me. Down here, I didn't get the job until way later, and I wasn't going to spend any of my Burger King money on clothes, just like I didn't spend it on the prom. That was my escape fund, which I did use to escape this town because I was miserable down here. And that was a part of the reason, is the whole clique environment at the high school. And this whole thing where they didn't care how funny you were, how witty you were, how nice you were to the people around you, how much fun you were to be around, whether or not you paid back money if you borrowed it. These are the kind of things that they judge you by in other places, but not down here. Down here it was, how good do I look with this person? Even male things. The male groups judge you based on what clothes you were wearing. And the worst offenders at all, my people, my very own people, the Cubans. The very worst offenders, the most shallow and pretentious and obsessed with the superficial people of them all. And it went to the cars, too. What kind of car were you driving? Well, I take the bus. Uh-oh! You take the bus? I didn't hope for the whole year, but in the beginning, I took the bus, and then there was the whole new kid thing. These guys were new kids, apparently. I don't know if they were new kids overnight, but that's a whole big problem, too. When you're a new kid, you have to go try to fit in somewhere. God forbid you should be dressed the wrong way. Miami, hello. Miami. Is the phone pot on? Not that I don't trust you. I mean, these people could be hanging up. Hello, Sandy.
Hello.
Sandy.
Hi, George. How'd you know it was me?
Joe told me.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're on the air this week.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you, Sandy.
See, Joe knows me already.
He knows you. He calls you crazy.
What?
He says crazy Sandy.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any good taste, I guess.
I guess not.
Well, do you think so?
Do I think you're crazy?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, I
haven't met you.
Well, let me tell you something. He has no good taste then.
Okay.
He's a bastard.
He is a bastard.
He's a bastard.
I love Sandy. She's perfectly normal.
Well, now it's too late.
You heard.
Sorry.
Okay, Sandy.
We love you.
All right. Bye-bye. So is she crazy? I don't know.
So who's going to produce your show tomorrow when I'm dead?
Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hey, George, how you doing?
All right, what's up?
Hey, you really struck a nerve. Like you, I'm a little shorty.
Yeah?
And I graduated from Dillard
God help you.
in 1976. And my mother, bless her soul, she dressed me so hideous.
My mother, damn her hide, dressed me hideously.
Oh, I mean, I was
Damn
wearing...
her to hell.
I was wearing yellow double-knit pants.
I had fluorescent lime green socks, man.
And-
That's the kind of crap she would bring home for me to wear.
But she didn't know any better.
Well, my mom, didn't care. But see, the thing is that I would try talking to her about it. I would say, like, take me shopping with you, or don't buy me anything green. I would say things like that, and she'd come home with a bag full of green.
And
she was crazy.
And like I said, I'm a shorty, and I played sports, and at best, I was a marginal athlete.
Yeah, I was mediocre at best.
But I played it because I enjoyed it, and it kept me away from the authorities.
Okay.
And
thank you very much. I don't know if he was done, but I felt like he was done. But I sympathize with you, sir. And I lettered like 3 times in track and cross country, and they tried to get me into the. You're not a popular jock type in school if you're in cross country and track. The football players, the basketball players, and to a certain extent, the wrestlers are the ones that are the popular jocks. And I didn't give a crap because I wasn't in the sports, to win some kind of a popularity contest. I was in them because Cheryl McCartney said, "Hey, George, come join cross country." We're throwing old girlfriends' names out there. Me and Joe talked about that, just in the off chance that somebody's out there listening. Well, she's not down here, so she's safe. But yeah, a pretty girl said, "Hey, I'm going to go join cross country. Why don't you come with?" And I said, "Okay, that's great." And when they tried to get me into the wrestling, because, they forced us to wrestle in PE, and I was fit in those days. Yeah, they forced us to. And let me tell you, wrestling in PE made me wish for algebra class. That's how bad that was. That's how unpleasant that whole scene was. And they would try to get me to join the team because I was a wiry little punk. And I had 0 body fat from running and whatnot, and the weight training and everything. And I said, let me think about that for about 1/10 of a second. I can either go to out-of-town trips where we stay in the hotels and half the team are fit, attractive girls, or I can writhe around on the floor with sweaty guys. How long do you think that decision took me? So no, I didn't join the wrestling team. I was in track and cross country, but not down here. See, down here it was that whole I wasn't fitting in thing. I didn't get angry about it. It was just kind of, you know what? F them was my attitude, all these people. And I eventually made some friends, and it turned out all right, even though they all went to college elsewhere and I had to get the hell out of this town. It worked out. I didn't get angry. I didn't want to blow up the school. But then again, I wasn't thrown into lockers. There's a lot of these kids out there that are getting thrown into lockers, and as Joe was telling me, a lot of these guys on the internet especially are saying, yeah, right on. Kill those jocks. 1028 on 560 QAM.
Dumb jock.
Tonight on the National Geographic Special. After 14 months at sea, Jacques Cousteau and the crew of the Calypso disembark on a well-deserved shore leave in Monaco.
I walk into the ballroom at the Princess Palace wearing a Run DMC t-shirt and ripped Levi jeans. Suddenly, I realized everyone was wearing tuxedos. I was aghast.
Don't miss the underdressed world of Jacques Cousteau.
In my embarrassment, I dive into the punch bowl where I encounter my son Philip snorkeling around the sherbet.
Tonight at 8 on PBS.
27 till 11 on 560 WQAM, and that's how I felt every day of my life at South Miami. And eventually one of my cousins took pity on me and bought me a pair of Sassoon jeans. And it cut against my grain, but I wore them anyway. And you know what? They were a piece of crap. They fell apart like in a month. I mean, I've got Levi's that are older than my daughter that are still going strong. They got the holes and everything in them, which just increases the value of them, right? When you have ripped up Levi's jeans. I mean, some of them are heirlooms. There are people that have had jeans in the family since Levi Strauss first made them, and they passed them along from one generation to another. Levi's are great. I love Levi's products, jeans. Well, not the Dockers. Wouldn't wear no Dockers again. Oh, I'm sorry. But still, I mean, how dressy do you have to get? Apparently, down here in the big city, very dressy, and that's why everybody's talking about the uniforms. Uniforms freak Neil out. I could take or leave uniforms because we have the money at this point where we can afford whatever clothes the daughter wants. Not only that, but she's got the grandparents and the aunts and the uncles, and she's got more clothes than she needs. She doesn't want for clothing, so I don't have to worry about her having the same problem that I did about not fitting in because she's dressed funny, like Daddy had that problem. But the uniform thing would be helpful to all these other kids who have parents who are either poor or just crazy, stupid, and don't know what to buy for their kids. So I have very mixed feelings about that. I'll just let the public decide what they want to do about the whole school uniform issue, because it is kind of fascistic, and it is, you don't let the kids be individual when they're in uniforms. But let me ask you this, Joe Castella: what if you make friends in a school with where you have uniforms? You make friends with this kid, you think he's great, witty, charming, blah blah blah. You decide you're going to go out en masse to go to the movies on Friday. My dad's driving. We'll pick you up at your house, 6:30. You get there, and the kid is a clown. Does that ever happen at these uniform schools? You get there, and the kid is dressed like a freaking clown.
Sure.
Does that happen? What do you do then? Slam the door and peel out? Like, oh my God, he's a freak. Slam the door and peel out? Because with the uniforms also comes a general dress code that has to do with like hair. They regulate how much and what kind of makeup the girls can wear, all of these things. So anyway, Miami, hello.
George.
Yes.
Hey, we need Neil immediately, if not sooner.
Okay. Just hold your breath right now, sir. Key Largo. I thought we weren't going to talk to the Julio fags anymore this week. Key Largo, hello.
Anglo accent.
What do you say, George?
I say hello.
Thanks for filling in for Neil.
Hey, my pleasure.
Hey, you graduated what, 81?
82.
82. I graduated Gables in 81. You want to talk about being unpopular as a jock? I lettered at Gables.
Yeah.
But I played golf.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I played it because I enjoyed the sport.
Uh-huh.
Contrary to LP.
Hello?
Yeah, still here.
Okay.
Contrary to the LPGA bit that we play, the girls that played golf, let me tell you what, great butts.
Yeah?
Great
yeah, but there wasn't, I can imagine that there weren't the kind of great bonding moments in golf that there were in track or cross country.
Oh, no, that's not true. Because you're stuck on a golf course with somebody, and you're playing all afternoon, and the bonding moments are great.
So you have
walk
time to
down the fairway, plenty of time to talk and converse.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not a huge guy either. I'm short. I'm stocky and I'm pretty well built, but I'm short. And what I did to solve that problem, I did the Levi's thing. I didn't give in to the designer crap. But did you guys have clogs at your school?
Dude, the guys that wore clogs, what was up with that? I had to bite my lip to keep from laughing. You're talking about the guys wearing clogs, right?
Yeah, I wore clogs.
Oh, my God.
I wore clogs.
Oh, geez.
There were
you
three
can't be
groups.
Straight.
You had the jocks, you had the burnouts, and you had the people somewhere in the middle. And I was somewhere in the middle.
Not wearing clogs.
Oh, yeah. And it was great. The girls loved them.
Oh.
It was cool. You kick them off during class. Your feet aren't sweating like crazy. And
all right.
It gave you 2 inches in height that I didn't have.
Yeah, well, okay.
It worked.
Okay.
Thanks, George.
You bet. Thanks a lot. Ooh, the clog thing. That was.
What's a clog?
You never saw the clogs? I guess that was before your time. You see the girls wearing them all the time. No heel, slip into it, just a shroud over the front, wooden sole with a heel on it. The girls wear them all the time, dude.
Men wore these?
Men, well, yes, men wore them. Males wore them. I saw them. And again, it was all I could do not to laugh. Talk about, I thought I was in forget a foreign country, I thought I'd gone to another planet. The guys were wearing clogs. And no question, the practicality of them, I'm sure that being, I had slip-on shoes. I had loafers. You could slip those off. You could slip your loafers off in class. Nobody gave a crap. Clogs, man. But I don't care what this guy says. I'm sure that, spending all day with the girls out on the course is a bonding experience. But nothing is as bonding as holding a girl's hair while she's puking after a race. That's a tight moment right there. That's, that you're friends with this person. She knows she can trust you if you're holding her ponytail out of puke's way while she's hurling after a race. Because about half the people, you push yourself real hard and you hurled. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One whatever line. Mobile and Plantation, hello.
Hey, George, in support of uniforms, okay, the good thing about school uniforms is the girls wear skirts.
I
And on the
love
windy days,
those little skirts, man. The
and on
khaki
windy
skirts.
That's right. And on windy days, they blow up,
Yes, they do.
and you can see everything.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I'm all for that, man.
All right.
All right. Hey, by the way,
Yes.
guys that wear clogs are fags.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Hey, I didn't go out and say that. I just asked, you know.
I mean, what you might as well put 2x4s on your feet. What kind of guy would wear
The Dutch wooden shoes, man. That's what
Little-
they look like to me with a leather strap over the top.
little Dutch boys?
Yeah.
All right, George.
All right, take it easy. Yeah, the whole clog thing, and mostly the Cubans were wearing them, by the way. And seriously, the first time I saw them, I did such a double take, and I laughed. They came in white and brown and black. Clogs, dude. Some of them had little rivets, studs around the edges. Goofy, like you see the clog cowboy boots that the girls wear, right? They're not a boot, they're a slip-on cowboy boot shaped kind of a thing. They were like that, but round toed. They were fat. They had fat toes, big fat toes, and you slip into them, and they were wood. 20 till 11, 560 QAM.
Wake up with the first team. Joe Rose, Jeff DeForest, and Steve Goldstein. Weekday mornings at 6. Only on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Tengo mucho pellejo en la punta.
Nothing makes you feel more like a woman than the romantic sensation of silky lingerie, that touch of satin as you slip on a pair of thong back bikinis, a soft stretch garter belt with stockings, or a black lacy camisole.
Oh, my goodness. I've never felt so womanly.
Victor's Secret, the catalog for cross-dressers.
I haven't been this excited since Alex Trebek said, put your hands on your buzzers.
Victor's Secret. Nothing makes you feel more like a woman.
15 till 11 on 560 WQAM, 5670560 in Dade or Broward, and pound 560 on the Mobile One phone line, the free phone line. By the way, and I can't say this enough because we still get people calling up, and I'm sure you'll hear it all week long. I'm on a mobile and I'm paying for it. Too bad. You wait like everybody else. It's like going shopping in a taxi cab. You don't get put to the front of the line. We have free phone services to encourage people to get those services. That's why we read their name on the air over and over again. We want you to get Mobile One or AT&T Wireless so that you can call us for free. That's an incentive to call for free. And if you don't have a free mobile, then you can either afford to wait on hold the 10, 15, 20 minutes it's going to take to talk to the host du jour, or you can't afford it and stop and use a landline or something like that. The nature of talk shows isn't the person who's paying the most for the call gets to go on first. The calls are taken in the order that they come in because that's the only fair way to do it. People lie. They call up and they say, oh, I'm on a mobile and I'm paying for it. Sometimes they're on a mobile, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're paying for it, sometimes they're not. They lie. They say anything that they can to get put on ahead of everybody else because they don't want to wait. No one wants to wait. No one wants to wait in line at the store, at the post office, bank, or no one wants to wait online on hold. I understand that. So they're taken in the order that they come in. And besides, the only criteria is material, not whether you're paying more than the other guy. Use a landline, goddammit. Mobile in Hialeah, hello. Mobile in Hialeah.
Hey, you came right to me on the pound line. That's great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, good morning.
I won't do that again.
How are you?
All right.
65 graduate of a local high school here in Dade County.
Did you pass the dress code at school there, sir?
Well, it was pretty stringent back during the 60s. The parents...
Oh, you had a real dress code.
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't have a dress code through the school, but everybody was, didn't realize there was any other way to dress but naturally.
Right.
And in a state of mind that everybody would recognize you as a human being.
That ain't the case anymore, at least not down here.
No.
Not
but let me tell you what happened when we went to the 10-year reunion in 75. That was the materialistic reunion when everybody had to describe what they bought, what they have.
Right.
Okay? And it was pretty much dismal. It wasn't enjoyable at all because everybody was on materialistic highs.
Everyone had to outdo everybody else.
Exactly. The 20-year reunion, what a turnaround.
Really?
Now, here's the switch. It's a complete 180 as to what everybody has lost. Divorces, huge alimonies, huge payouts in divorces. They lost everything. They lost their businesses. It's just a turnaround, a 10-year cycle.
That's hysterical.
The 25 was mellow. Everybody was just, Now they're
Just
getting
getting drunk.
sick. Yeah, now they don't really care, you know.
All right. Well, thanks for bringing me down. Now I know what to look forward to.
Yeah, really.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Oh my God, how depressing that is. I missed the 10-year reunion. I would have loved to go back to Montana for the 10-year reunion. I was even doing my best, plotting out vacations on the calendar and everything. Just didn't have the bucks to fly up there. Flying's expensive. So let's blame the fashion industry. I mean, even in the paper today, and which is it, the Herald, I think, they've got this big article talking about all the horrible influences that the kids, by kids they mean teenagers, have today with the Marilyn Manson and the Doom video games and the horrible things on the internet. I was playing murder games when I was a teenager at the arcade, kill them, shoot them, you know, the real ones where you shoot things. I mean, yes, they've gotten very refined these days, and the blood is more vivid these days, but I was shooting aliens, you know, whatever the enemy at hand in the game was. We were shooting it up, and we were watching horrible splatter movies. Hell, when I was a teenager, the whole Friday the 13th thing started, you know, and in Montana we had a Crystal Lake that was our favorite lake, as a matter of fact, and we didn't take axes or anything to each other. But again, whole different environment up there. Nice people being nice to each other all the time, as opposed to down here, where the dress code was really stringent. If there is going to be a dress code, because people were talking about uniforms and dress codes in school, like as if somehow if they'd stopped these kids from wearing trench coats, this wouldn't have happened. Does anyone really believe that the trench coats had something to do with it? I'd say if you're going to have dress codes, make it like, instead of having the dress code revolve around how much flesh the kids can show, which is usually the bottom line in a dress code. No obscene slogans, no hate-filled slogans, and the girls can't show any flesh. I remember in the announcements, in elementary school, no less, in Redland Elementary School, they were doing over the announcements, the girls couldn't wear hot pants, short shorts, or halter tops, because that was a big thing. And I'm thinking, it's Florida, dude. At least let them have the halter tops. Boy, I love halter tops. If straight men design clothes, that's all we would design. Slit skirts slid all the way up top, plunging necklines, halter tops, short shorts, short skirts, hot pants. That's all that we would design for the women. That's it. See-through stuff, lots of sheer things, lots of see-through things. That's it. And then we wouldn't change it. We just every year we'd like change the colors. Every year we'd come out with a nice paisley print. We wouldn't change a thing. I guess that's why straight men don't design clothes. I mean, as long as we're blaming everybody for the death of these kids, why not blame the fashion industry, which I blame for anorexia, bulimia, and the fact that I didn't fit in South Miami. It's all their fault, the fashion industry, for making my senior year in high school a horrible, miserable time. Miami, hello.
George.
Yes.
Hey, I'm from the class of '88, so I got some real good ones for you.
Yes.
Which after you graduated, when I went to school
down here.
No, I was over in Clearwater area.
Okay.
And it was just as bad. I went to we had everything from slums to trailer park trash to ritzy people, you know, who the parents brought their daughter a new Corvette on her birthday in a ribbon to the school parking lot type of thing. So, yeah, we had three different groups there. Actually about four. We had the jocks. We had a few people that wanted to look like the gangster thugs. And most of the people were either the preppy or the people who, like you said, it had gone to the next level. If you didn't wear anything, like what you were talking about, you were basically ostracized.
Sure.
And it is.
I looked like a real goofball. I'll admit it. When I first got off the turnip.
And then there was
like
my group, which I hung around with, which was the stoners and the metalheads.
Right.
And of course everything had to be racial. You know, the stoners and the metalheads were all white, and most of the rap people were all black.
Mm-hmm.
And everything.
Clearwater.
And just because we listened to different music, and because so we hung out together and we wore differently, wore different clothes, we were discriminating against them.
Yes, you were. You racist, you.
This racist fag here. So
okay.
That's the way.
Did you wear clogs? That's
what?
Before your time. Sorry, go ahead.
Clogs was before my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, now they're wearing clogs back in schools again.
Really?
Yeah, clogs are in because this whole retro 70s thing.
Guys?
My niece is wearing bell bottoms. So
oh yeah, the bell bottoms are back.
Now.
The bell bottoms are back. That's cool.
No, they're hideous.
Yes, thank you very much. The bell bottoms are back, and when I first came down here, I had a bunch of the really flared, which are also back. They flare right from the top. They flare out big. Remember the big flared micro cords? I had some of those because in the skating crowd, when you went to the roller rink, you had to have your baggy flares because they fluttered in the breeze as you skated around. And boy, they did not wear flares down here in 1981, 82. That was the wrong thing to be wearing. Everything was ass-hugging designer jeans and the shirts, the silky shirts, the bright, the really loud, nasty shirts that are okay, and they're okay for the clubs and everything right now. I know you're perking up in there.
Did you have your Frankie Says T-shirt?
No, I did not have my Frankie Says T-shirt. I did not. I had a lot of gun shirts. 7 till 11, 560 QAM.
No portion of this broadcast may be reproduced without the express written permission of WQAM Beasley Reed Acquisition Corp.
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
A planet where apes evolved from men.
New from Gorge You of Your Money. It's the genes that almost every man in America has been waiting for. The genes that will drive the chicks wild and make you the center of attention at any party. It's the Wonder Gene with built-in bulge booster. If you're sick of traditional genes that hide your little package, the new Wonder Gene will accentuate whatever little amount of flesh you have and make it look like you're the next Long Dong Silver.
Whoa, Billy, what's up with you tonight, man? The chicks are all over you.
Did you happen to notice my pants?
Yeah, I was meaning to say something about that. What do you have, a Woodrow you can't get rid of or something?
No, you squid. It's the Wonder Gene. Here, check this out. Hey, baby.
Hey, good looking. What do you say we blow this joint and head back to my place?
Sure.
Hey, Billy.
Yeah?
What are you going to do when you drop your drawers and she sees your real little soldier?
Who cares? Too late then.
The Wonder Gene from Gorge You of Your Money. Because now it's the men's turn to cheat and the women's turn to be disappointed.
1 till 11, 560 WQAM. Did you ever have to be subjected to the tight-ass jeans? Were you ever in one of those phases where you had to wear the really tight designer jeans?
No.
Like I said, I just had the one pair that they bought for me. And I felt like being a conformist. I mean, you know, eventually you're going to, you know, you will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. And it was horrible. Your nuts are all scrunched up. You can't, you know, your boys can't breathe. You can't sit. I mean, forget sitting down. And I wasn't fat at all in those days. But even then, you sit down, your gut is pressing against the hem. So you never had that problem.
I kind of hit every other fashion trend, and I skipped that one.
You skipped that one. Good plan. Because I am so happy that the baggy jeans are going on right now, and I'm going to just stock up on a whole bunch so that I won't have to buy oversized tight jeans later on, because I'm not going back to that. I like the fact that that my boys can breathe and flop around, and, you know, if I sit, you know, you have room to move. I like that a lot. I mean, I'm not going nutty baggy like the skate punks, like the skateboard punks, not like that, not where I have to hold my pants up while I walk around like Neil used to before he got all new clothes. Isn't it cute he's wearing Tommy Hilfiger? I mean, that's just adorable to me. So if we don't get any calls, not only do I have backup music, Forest for the Trees, by the way, but I'll do my long tirade on the fashion industry and how evil it is, what an evil, insidious plot that the fashion industry is. 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Uniforms, yes, no. Dress codes, yes or no. Dress codes are all right, but I think that they're going for the wrong thing. Instead of going for what you can show, there should be a price limit on the dress code. Like, you can't wear anything over X amount of dollars. You know, that should be the dress code, so that the poor people won't have rocks and garbage thrown at them because they can't afford designer clothes. You know, they can't afford cashmere cardigans, things like that. Last call of the day. Coral Springs, hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, George. At my school, we had to wear uniforms. I'm in high school now, and we've got to wear the same thing. But at my old school, they get choices, like if they want to wear a white shirt or a blue shirt or.
Oh.
So we've got to wear, like, all we have is blue pants and a white or a blue shirt.
But I mean,
so
you like that? Do you like the uniform thing? I mean.
Yeah, it's easier to get dressed in the morning. You don't have to worry about all the crap from school or whatnot. But on the weekends and stuff in the afternoon, you don't know what to wear. So you get so used to wearing the uniforms that it's like you don't know what to wear, and you feel kind of goofy if you're wearing anything else besides the uniform.
So it's a good thing. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good for me.
All right.
Well, I only got like one pair of shoes now because that's the only thing I wear, but it's cool.
Okay.
Better.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you know, it would have been great for me. I would have loved it. That would have solved all the problems right there for me, is if we wore uniforms. Then they wouldn't have seen what kind of a rube I was. They would have seen, you know, they would have given me a chance, which, it took me 1 month before the school year ended to finally find some people that would talk to me, that would acknowledge my existence. It was pretty lonely up until that point. So since we don't have any calls on the board, let's talk about what an asshole footy is from Y100. Joe Costello's at his race, his celebrity race in Hialeah yesterday, where he crashes and burns, broken limbs. No, nothing like that. What did you do, crash into a hay bale?
Crashed through a hay bale.
Through a hay bale.
It was a long straightaway, and they put like a little turn to help slow you down. You know, you got to go around it. Well, I went through it. But it was good because the next lap I just went through the hole.
Are these regular go-karts? I mean, were they souped up? I mean,
these were go-karts. They were pretty fast, 40 miles per hour.
One speed?
Yeah.
One gear, a gas pedal and a brake, that kind of thing. You're not shifting or anything like that. Well, that's encouraging to me because I've always been all right on the go-kart track and stuff like that. So that's encouraging that a big-time auto racer like yourself would crash. Now I don't feel so bad. Because I never crashed.
I made the mistake. I was following Sean Patrick Flannery, apparently some actor guy who also races these go-karts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, wow, if I can keep up with this guy, I'm a badass. And I was watching him too much instead of running my own line, and ended up through the hay bales.
And as if that wasn't the highlight of the day, we find out that Footy's ripping Neil with all kinds of the same old jealous crap that we've heard over and over again. How they tried it before and it doesn't work. Neil bringing up the whole station's ratings. Well, first of all, let's go down the list. What did he say first? Let's do this first. Come on, you're the reporter. You heard it, not me.
He was speaking with Jammin' Johnny.
Yes, our good close personal friend Jammin' Johnny. Yes,
good guy, by the way.
Right, he is a good guy. He apologized profusely. Neil refused to say it on the air, but he did come in, not to Neil, but to myself vicariously. He apologized profusely for the loud boom music. He wasn't aware that it was so loud and that it could be heard so clearly in here, and it'll never happen again. Continue.
So Footy's talking to Jammin' Johnny, and by the way, Footy's a good guy. Spoke with him.
No, he's not. He's an asshole.
Well, I have to preface that.
Okay.
Just in case he tries to kill me.
Like Sandy.
He's
Go
just
ahead.
saying, yeah, they pay this guy so much money and that big fat salary. It's never going to work. How's the station going to make any money with little cigar stores as advertisers? And they've tried it before, and it will never raise the ratings of the other day parts because the people who listen to Neil only listen to Neil. And I listen every day. But it doesn't mean that's whatever. And he mentioned the big fat salaries.
All right. Well, we can take this one element at a time. First of all, the reason that the station, if it is not making money, it's not because of Neil. We crunched the numbers, and this show generates a huge fat profit. That's number one. Number two, Neil has brought total listeners to other stations that he's been at, including this one, although it's harder on this station than any other station because there are two totally different camps here, as Neil has said very many times. You either like the sports thing or you don't like the sports thing. And if you don't like the sports thing, like myself, it doesn't matter who you put on the rest of the day, you're not going to listen to them. Whereas on the other stations, since they were all free-for-all, general issue, goofball kind of crap, if you liked goofball kind of crap, you would listen to Neil and you would give the other shows at least half a chance. Certainly the show that was on after it. We had to wrestle the razor blade away from Rick Riley when Neil went in there in the middle of their show and told him that he was going away, coming over here. We had to stick a plastic tongue depressor in his mouth and wrestle the straight razor away from him when he knew that Neil wasn't going to be his lead-in anymore. For a radio person to say that your lead-in has no effect on your numbers is asinine and in denial. Everyone counts on their lead-in. Everyone counts on the act that's before them to at least have some people there waiting for you. And it doesn't work to a major extent on this radio station because, again, if you're not into sports, it doesn't matter how glib or scintillating Jeff DeForest, Joe Rose, Steve Goldstein, Hank Goldberg, Ed Kaplan, it doesn't matter how brilliant these guys are at what they are talking about. No one who isn't interested is going to listen to that. So it's really tough on this station. But we do generate a great profit. And by the way, Nick's Cigars, if he's taking a shot at Nick's, guess what? The local advertisers pay the same rate as the national advertisers. So a spot for Nick Cigars brings in just as much money as a spot for General Freakin' Motors. And for a radio person to say that, I wonder exactly how much they know about the business that they're employed in. And as far as Nick Cigars go, they went from $200 a day to $2,000 a day or more since they started advertising on the show. They wanted to pick up their retail business. They did that, exactly. And Neil's clients have followed him around from station to station for years. So, Footy, you're an asshole, even though Joe Costello says you're a nice guy. But all these people, they're very jealous. They wish they could make Neil's money in this market. They wish they could have Neil's numbers, but they can't and they don't, so they take shots like that. And Neil isn't the problem on this station. This show generates mondo profit. And the ratings for this show are through the freaking roof. So, Footy, you're an asshole. And if we don't get any calls, and it's Monday, by the way, if anybody noticed that I'm not going to be busting my hump here on a Monday, no one wants to participate on Monday. I've sat in there practically in tears watching Neil beat his head against the counter, trying to make something out of a Monday, and I'm not going to play that game. I go to great lengths to keep stress out of my life, so I'm not going to bust a gut on a Monday to try to, I'm not going to do anything real heavy. I'm not going to beg for phone calls. I got the tunes. If you want to talk about the clothes and how the fashion industry is killing all of the women of the world, we can do that. But otherwise, I'm going to play some tunes. I'm not going to bust a gut on a Monday. It's obvious that everyone's lethargic on a Monday. No one wants to be at work. No one wants to participate on a radio show, and that's just fine. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, just to let you know, I am on vacation. I do listen to you guys.
From where?
I just got back from Denver. I left the same day all that shooting started.
Oh.
So, I'm from Fort Lauderdale, and I'll tell you what, there is no AM radio in Denver, Colorado. I mean, that's like...
Where is there AM radio besides down here?
Well, you have a good point there, too. Because I'll tell you what, driving through Kansas, there isn't nothing to set
just
phone
religious
reports.
shows, man. That's when we drive to North Carolina, I scan the AM band, and it's just religious show, that's it.
And sports.
Radio preachers and sports.
Middle of baseball season, they're still talking about football.
Oh, yeah, down here?
All over.
Or anywhere. Okay.
It's the jock mentality.
Yes.
So, but I just wanted to call and say I do miss you guys out there, and as soon as I get my computer right there, we'll be listening to you guys on the internet.
There you go, on NeilRogers.com.
Yep.
Visit it often.
I will.
Thank you very much.
All right.
By the way, yep, and bye-bye. I got to get better at disconnecting people. And sorry, Eric, I haven't been to the site in a while, so I don't know if you got the pictures posted or anything like that yet. But nevertheless, NeilRogers.com, if you want to listen to the show, there are archives of old shows, and any minute now, any day now, we'll have goodies that you can buy for fun and our profit. Mobile in Lauderhill, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is George.
Yes.
Hi, how you doing?
All right.
Listen, there's two things I want to talk to you about, if I could.
Please.
One is about the school thing out in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are several things that could have been done, should be done in schools now, to not allow the kids to bring in this stuff. One, I would ban all the book bags that the kids carry on their back, because they can bring a whole bunch of stuff.
That'll be real easy to do. And the next thing?
The next thing is put those. You remember the glass doors we had in school with the mesh wire in it? Put that on all the lockers. Put that on all the lockers, so anybody walking down the hall, any supervisor walking down the hall, can look in every locker without even having to open up the locker. It would make the kids keep only the school things in the locker,
all right,
and stuff that they need for school. And anything else could be questioned right away and call the student out of class, and bing, bang, boom.
Okay.
Hey, you're not allowed to have this.
All right.
Now the other thing is this NATO thing. Now they're talking about putting oil embargoes in Yugoslavia.
Mm-hmm.
All they're going to do is aggravate the situation with the other countries who are against the situation. I'm for NATO. I just want you to know.
Okay.
Let them deliver the oil. All we got to do is just bomb the facility, bomb the ports where the oil tankers are going to be, and now they can't even bring in the oil in.
Okay, that'll piss the people off even less. Thank you,
well.
Sir. All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. I don't know how to respond to that. Well, the school thing, the bags. You're not going to ban the book bags. And the lockers, mesh lockers, like wire lockers, I don't know. Somebody's going to have a problem with that. I don't care one way or another. I mean, they got to replace the lockers, right? But, like I have a grate over the locker that you can see through instead. Whatever. If I was in school, I wouldn't have given a crap. But if they would have tried to take my book bag away, we would have had issues. I mean, how do you get, you got school books. I mean, I had a day pack that was my book bag. I had carried everything in it. Your school supplies, are we going to have to carry them in plastic see-through? You know how the girls have those plastic see-through purses? Is that what we're going to have now? It's a little hard to get the pornography into school if they have that. 11:12 on 560 QAM. Who the callers?
Oh! And now we see the president getting ready to deliver his address. He's in the Oval Office with the gold drapes behind him, and he is preparing to address the American people.
Cue music, please. My fellow Americans, I have deployed our forces to put up a fight in a place called Kosovo, outside of Albania, where all the Macedonians go. Right there in Kosovo, we're gonna blow away Serbian Muslims in the KLA. Sloboda Milosevic is mad because his nickname is Slob. Later of Kosovo, Prikaz and Popcek, Dekadi and Glagovac, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Herzegovina, Serbia, Pristina, Adriatic Sea is near Kosovo. That's where I told NATO to point our planes and go, annihilating Belgrade and Sarajevo, and Hugo Montenegro. And may God bless America.
1117 560 WQAM, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, and 5670560 everywhere else. Why can't I hear myself all of a sudden? Must be my ears. I got this cold thing still going on. I'm a little bit drunk on Formula 44D, the generic brand, by the way, because I'm cheap. And so I'm a little bit woozy and hungry. We gonna eat? We gonna get something to eat? Call Chuck at the sub-center? We'll do a sub-center thing. Combo chef salad. That way I can pick at it. With extra pickle and onion and no dressing, no peppers. So we have a news flash. Duff Lindsay gets a mailbox. Oh! Does he have a desk yet?
No.
Oh, well, one thing at a time. Hey, who do you have to blow to get a mailbox around here, by the way? We could use one outside the door here. So that, I mean, I appreciate the personal mail delivery from Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. But we're not always, here when the mail comes in, and I don't want to miss any goodies from Tracy Neely. I have a box full of stuff from Tracy Neely at home, and I'm going through it slowly but surely, very, very carefully, trying to find some good stuff. And I left the Murmurs in the car. I found a good Murmurs song or two. You like Murmurs? Yeah? I thought nobody heard of them. Are they playing them on the radio? Where are they playing them? Where do you know them from?
We used to play them when I was a DJ at Nova University.
Oh, really? They're that old?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess they got, I don't know if it's new stuff or old stuff, whatever it is. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hi, George.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right.
You know what's kind of scary is the whole religious right, where they're all standing on their soapboxes screaming.
They're up there. They're standing an article in each paper. Churchgoers turn to the clergy for answers, as if they've ever had the answer for anything. They're going to have the answer to this now. The church people, the religionists, I'm talking about the priests and preachers. Boy, they circle like vultures every time something like this happens. They dive in from every direction.
All over the place. Pat Robertson saying we got to get Satan out of the school.
Yeah, Satan killed these kids. Right.
You know what was unbelievable? The girl who died at the funeral the other day on TV for 4 hours, and they're saying, thank God the brother lived. And I'm saying, thank God.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. What was he, snoring? You know.
Right.
Where was he? You know what's the funny thing? I went to school in New York, 4,000 kids with 1,000 people that graduated.
Uh-huh.
It was about a 50-50 Italian and Jews, Roman Catholics who did their thing Sunday, and Jews who did the things on the holidays. But every parent ruled, they were so strict that none of us went crazy,
Right.
And all the neighbors spied on us back then.
That's
I mean, if
nowadays.
I got out of hand in another neighborhood, my father knew about it,
Well, good.
And you know what's really strange?
What's really strange?
You're a fan of South Park, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
So am I. And you see their episodes with the devil and all this just the other night. And this is that community.
What about it?
What was that?
What?
This is that community.
Oh, no, well, no, because this is a suburb of Denver.
No, but I mean, the one black guy, the one black family, that's
I know, right.
Everybody worrying about, God and the devil.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot of that going on.
Well, because what I'm saying is with all the religious preaching...
This was part of the Denver sprawl. This wasn't a little town in the middle of a rural area.
Okay, well, I'm just saying I thought it was just kind of a parallel, a little bit anyway, to South Park with the religious...
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because that reminds me of something else. The wife, bless her heart, we missed it on Wednesday. We taped it on Saturday, right? It's on tape, good to go. And she recorded The Simpsons over it last night. Which was, so she feels really bad about it. It's okay, honey, it's okay. I'll catch it the next time around.
It was a great episode.
Oh, thanks for rubbing it in, asshole. Did you see Family Guy last night?
No.
That show has grown on me. It's actually okay. They actually have some good writing and some good comedy. And Jicka says that you saw the previews for the new thing, Home Movies, right? Jicka rips it. I mean, it wasn't like a ripping. He just says it's nothing new, nothing good going on. The writing is weak. Blah blah blah. The Home Movies thing. You haven't seen the previews for it? Another cartoon. UPN premieres tonight, I think, on UPN, 8:30 or something like that. I'll watch it. I'll watch it once. Because I figured, because of the same thing that Jicka said in the article, once you have a successful cartoon show, there's going to be all these copycats, and there are, and there have been, and that's what I thought the Family Guy was before I watched it, and it was actually that was cute. Last night's was cute. So, and of course, Simpsons, solid as always. Kendall, hello. Kendall.
Hello.
Hello.
George.
Yes.
What's up, kid?
What's going on?
Two things for you, man.
Yeah.
Well, number one, did you see The Matrix yet, man?
No, I'm not. I'm going to go see it this week, all right? Don't bug me. I'm going to go see it.
Dude, you should have been seeing it by now, man.
I should have, but if you listened, I hate Keanu Reeves. I have a real serious problem with fake actors up on the screen and paying to go see him.
Yeah, I dig that, but he barely do any talking. Lawrence Fishburne.
That's what they told me. They said he's got 50 words, if that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That little O stuff.
Okay.
Dude, I want another family request, man.
All right, what is it?
That retarded gig that they do now. Green Onion's retarded gig.
You got it. That's one of my favorites.
All right, can I call somebody a douchebag?
Go ahead.
BCT drivers, all you guys are douchebags.
All right, thank you very much. Sunrise, hello. Sunrise, hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to point out there's a gentleman, Mr. Needle, wrote a letter in the Sun Sentinel this weekend. And he made a point that these religious leaders never say anything about these hate groups. Not enough is said.
What do you mean they don't say anything about them? They are the hate groups. Where do you think it comes from?
Well, let's put it this way. Then in Congress, he also said that there are members of Congress like Barr and so forth who are members of hate groups.
Right. I've been, yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, that not enough is being done to stop these hate groups.
You're right, sir.
And in the former Soviet Union, they outlawed such things. Maybe it wasn't such a bad idea.
Maybe. Not for me to decide. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can't curtail freedom of speech and everything like that. And I say, if you make them outlawed, if you outlaw them, they'll go underground. So keep them out there out in the open so we know exactly who the hate mongers are and we can react accordingly and keep an eye on them, etc. and so on. Speaking of the religious vultures coming out of the woodwork, I got my very own, the first of my life, I should frame this, my very own fax from Tracy Foster, TF, with the squiggly writing, who's writing letters to the editor. He faxes every show in the world, I think. And he says, George, who's to say if there wasn't a God? And this is in response to Friday's show, and I didn't mention God or Jesus at all on Friday, that I remember. I certainly didn't mention it in relation to the shooting in Colorado. I never said that God failed these people. I never said anything like that. But he says, who's to say if there wasn't a God, more kid would have died? This isn't bad reading. This is bad writing. How do you know for sure there is no God? With all the ammunition, and it's spelt wrong, ammunition, those two kids had, more kids probably could have died. Maybe Jesus stepped in. Maybe Jesus step in. How do you know he didn't? TF, Tracy Foster. Thank you, Tracy. I'm going to keep this in my memoirs, in my file, in my scrapbook, my very first thing. I didn't say that God was there or wasn't there or anything like that. But here's the bottom line, Tracy Foster. The people who want to argue this position with you, you and them can go off into a corner and argue how many people God saved that day and how many people God failed that day. And if there's a God and if there isn't a God, you get together with all the people that want to argue that with you, and then when you're done, come over here and join those of us who are not arguing that, who are talking about why it happened, What can we learn from this? How can we keep this from happening again? All of those things. That's what we're going to talk about, all the sane, rational people. Well, all the nuts can sit there and talk about, how good did God do that day? We don't know, because that's my whole position as an agnostic. I don't know about God or Jesus or anything like that. And you know what, Tracy Foster, neither do you, and neither do any of those fakers who are standing up saying things like they know something, making all these claims. One of these, a Roman Catholic cardinal, I got the article right here, talking about Cassie Bernal, which every time they showed her picture, the cute girl, 17-year-old girl, born-again Christian, there was a born-again Christian, like that's all they had to say for her. They were saying something, they'd show the kid, the picture, the name, and say something about the kids, but this girl, every time they showed her picture, she was a born-again Christian. Like, okay, that's it. I guess that was all she had going on in her life. Roman Catholic Cardinal Bernard Law was talking about how she's in heaven now. I got news for you, Bernard Law. According to Cassie, you're going to hell, because all the Catholics are, especially the Catholic clergy. The Catholic Church is a tool of the devil, according to the born-again Christians. Mobile in Hollywood, hello. Mobile in Hollywood, click. Nice talking to you too. Mobile in Miami, how about that? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, George?
Nothing?
I'd like to express my disgust towards the whole Colorado thing. I like to put it this way.
Uh-huh.
A plane blows up, 100 people die. That's a two-day news story tops. No big deal, okay?
Right.
And that's mothers, fathers, grandparents, okay?
Sure, kids.
Okay, a dozen kids die in a high school, and it's like not even a week.
13.
Oh, 13, okay, close enough. All right.
Not counting the two killers. Well, you're right, it was a dozen kids, one adult, and then the two killers, but we're not counting them because we hate those guys.
Yeah, but, okay, the bodies aren't even cold yet, okay?
Right.
They're making an album for the school. They're making a record album.
Right, and Power 96 is playing it.
Oh, are they?
Or is going to be.
Okay. Oh, that's disgusting. That's
well,
gross.
hey, what can I say?
I mean, society itself. If the story is more elaborate, however elaborate the story is, the more grief we have to feel.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many people die. It's just how exciting was the story.
Sure.
And it's this thing. It's terrible. Oh, and last week's South Park wasn't all that great.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. And see, now I don't feel so bad. I'll catch it on the flip flop. 11:28 on 560.
A dingo ate my baby.
What I got here is a new dance. Some people call it a barn dance. I call it a dirty square dance. Up with the petticoat, down with the pants, in with the flicker, everybody dance. Girls with rags on up against the walls, guys with a heart on promenade the halls. Girls, grab your partners firmly by the balls, drag them down the length of the halls. Make them holler, make them shout. Put your pretty ass up against his snout. First lady goes, second lady pass, third lady finger up the fourth guy's ass. Figure out, promenade the halls, now release the poor guy's balls. Down with the petticoat, up with the pants, this is the end of the dirty square dance. Do, I reckon. I'm tired now. I think I'm gonna go grab me some french fried potatoes.
26 till 12, 560 WQAM 5670560 or pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. One call on the board, and then it's either music or I can do my long-winded, the fashion industry is a gay plot tirade. Joe Costello wants music because you've heard the tirade off the air. I don't want, I got to do the disclaimer because, I love our gay brothers and sisters. And again, the more gay men there are in the world, the more I like it because that gives us a better chance. More for me. That kind of logic. And that's why homophobia is a totally gay thing. If you're upset that there are gay men running around, what's the problem with you? How is that affecting your life, gay men running around? It only makes your life better if you're straight because less competition. That sort of logic. But it's gay men for the most part. I don't know if there is a straight designer. Maybe there is because I don't know them all. Just to set it up, I didn't used to watch all these fashion shows, but the wife, we have a nice compromise on Saturday mornings. I watch the cartoons, and then just in time for the cartoons to be over, the fashion shows, the marathon of fashion shows starts. Fashion television, Style with Elsa, my molars and my knees are both tightly clenched. FTV, did I already say Fashion Television? Fashion File on E, yes.
What about Calvin?
I like Calvin Klein, and I like...
Gay?
You know what? Yeah, I believe he is. Even though he's married, I believe that he's very bi, leaning towards the gay side. I believe that. Although, you know what? As far as clothes go, decent clothes. Overpriced, but at least the stuff isn't ugly. And there are a few out there, you could count the designers on practically one hand, that don't make ugly, gross crap. And if you're wondering what does this have to do with anything, it's because the clothes thing, clothes and fitting in, and obviously the whole fascist mentality that goes on in high school, at least the high schools over here in this city, comes from the fashion industry. And these people that believe that you should change your wardrobe 4 times a year. If they had their way, we would all throw our clothes out and buy a whole new wardrobe 4 times a year. Every season we would buy a whole new wardrobe, which is insane to me. I have no need for anything other than the jeans and the shoes, tennis shoes or boots, T-shirts, short sleeve, a long sleeve shirt, sweatshirts. This is the guy thing. Guys, and again, when you watch these fashion shows, and sometimes they're fun to watch because you get a flash of every now and then. They're getting braver and braver with that, by the way. And Alexander McQueen, he might be, even though his name is McQueen, the English designer, he might be straight because I swear to God, everything that he puts the models in, you see at every one of his fashion shows, which might be in order to get attention. Well, he's got mine. And the fashion shows are good that way. But first of all, the clothes are ugly. The clothes they try to sell to the men, and it never works. You see the males parade out there in the gayest crap. With all due respect, it's so gay. No straight men would wear that stuff. They have clothes. They got them walking around in like things that look like silk pajamas. I just saw. Like, who would wear that? Not only would I not wear that out of the house, I wouldn't wear it outside the bedroom. These suits that look like silk pajamas and the floodwater pants and clogs. Let's not forget the clogs and all this other crap that they have the men walk around in. And even Joe Costello, who is a fashion fiend, a snappy dresser, the best dressed guy at the station. You wouldn't wear the crap that you see coming down the runway. I mean, some of it is laughable would be a compliment. I swear to God they're going for the comedy. And you know that a straight man didn't design some of that stuff. The Armani suits. I mean, how much have suits changed for men? How much has clothing for men really changed over the years? The suit, the last major modification they did to the suit was cut the tails off. Otherwise, it's single-breasted, double-breasted. The lapel length, goes up and down a little bit. The lapel width, widens and narrows a little bit. The ties, narrow, wide, but basically same thing. Suit, tie, shoes. Shoes, God, I could spend all day on the shoes. Where do you find shoes for just normal Joes like me? Those aren't bad, but you know what? Those are still a little bit fancy. I wouldn't wear those. You're Mr. Fancy Pants, all right? You're just going to have to live with that. I wouldn't wear those. Like, thank God for the New Balance place where they've got the real, like the flat black suede Oxfords with nothing on them, man. Just plain old shoe. What?
These fancy shoes cost me $14.
Hey, how much did these boots cost me? These Coleman hiking camping boots. All leather uppers. Guess how much?
$2.
No, $25. I got them on sale. Well, I should have bought like 10 of them. If they'd had 10 of them, I would have bought them because now I can't find them anymore. Just real simple, nothing. I don't want a pair of loafers with tassels on them. I don't want, a gold buckle or anything like that. I just want a freaking shoe that looks as simple as nondescript as possible. And that pretty much goes for the clothes. I want just a shirt, just a color, a nice color, a blue, something dark, something warm. It's so tough to find. I go into the stores and I have to wait, again, seasonally, to find something that isn't obnoxious. They put these clothes out in the store thinking that men are going to buy them, and obviously they don't. No straight men do anyway. But then you get to the women, and that's a whole other thing. I mean, first of all, they've totally snowed these women, the fashion industry, into thinking that they do have to change their look every 5 minutes. Because the women still haven't figured out that they don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Just show up. You don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to color your hair. You don't have to bleach it. You don't have to perm it. Just show up. Just, you know what? Just shower. If you're going to do anything, shower. Deodorize. Cut and trim your nails, your fingernails, your toenails, if I may be so bold. But as far as the clothes go, men don't give a crap about what the clothes look like. They care about how much it's showing. And by the way, I hate this. Is it a spork, the short skirts, the spurks, the sporks? What do they call it? Sporks? What kind of evil man, and it must have been an evil man, invented those things? Wear shorts or wear a skirt.
Ooh, I've got a skirt on, but not really.
Yeah, exactly. Psych. Just, you could make a list as long as what? As long as this building, about the things that women do and wear that men would never do in their lives or wear. Things like that. A fake pair of shorts. Because there's a certain logic that applies to the way men dress, to an extent, at least when you compare it to women. Women wear grotesquely uncomfortable things. Don't tell me those high heels are comfortable. We all know better than that. They have to learn to wear high heels. Do you realize that? Can you imagine having to learn to acclimate yourself to something that you wear, like the shoes or the bra? Training bras. Do men have to buy training shorts? Is there anything that you have to wear that you have to learn how to wear, Joe, before you can wear it properly and effectively? If they don't learn how to walk in the heels, they fall right over. Men wouldn't wear high heels. I mean, unless they're on a stage or something like that. Carlos going to a party, that kind of thing. But a straight man isn't going to wear high heels, like pouring hot wax on your body. We'll shave our face, and some people like Joe Costello might shave their nuts. Haven't done that yet. I'm still threatening to do that, but the wife keeps threatening to leave me if I do, which, anyway, so we might shave, but we're not going to pour hot wax on our groin area. Can you imagine a man sitting there and pouring hot wax on his crotch? Who do you know that would do that? Well, I got a hot date. I'm going to the beach. I'm wearing Speedos. Would you pour hot wax on your chest to shave it? Women are pouring hot wax on themselves. Not to mention all the money, and they do spend money on the clothes, the makeup, and the hair, and the treatments, and the facials. Yes?
Hot wax can be fun.
Hot wax can be fun, but as a chore, as a grooming practice, would you pour hot wax on yourself? I'm sure if your girlfriend said, hey, Joe, I want to pour hot wax on, fill in the blank, you'd say, all right, let me have a belt first. Give me a couple of drinks, and then go for it. But as far as to clean, to shave, the hot wax, that's the fun part. Then they have to rip the hair out. What guy do you know would do that, would subject himself to that? Women, we wouldn't do that for you. Why are you doing it for men? You don't have to do that. You don't have to go through that. 18 till 12 on 560 QAM.
And now, the League of Retarded Citizens will perform their rendition of Green Onions. Don't make fun. They work very hard for this.
12 till 12, 560 WQAM. So as much pressure as there is here for the guys to look right, as opposed to Tommy, who looks totally wrong. I'm just kidding you, man. Tommy's another. He's going for a definite look, but then he's a rock and roll drummer type guy. You got to look like that, or no one will presume that you know how to play an instrument. Just to show you what the looks look like. So as much pressure as there was for the guys to fit in and look right down here, that was nothing. That was nothing compared to the women, to what the women have to be subjected to. And by the way, all that pressure comes from other women. Once again, we don't care what you wear. We only care if you're going to let us take it off of you. And guys do care if women dress like sluts. Guys pay attention to women who dress like sluts because we think we're going to get laid. How complicated is that? If you dress like a slut, of course you're going to have guys swarming all around you because they think they're going to get some. They think you want it, and they've got it for you. So that's about the only difference as far as men paying attention to you. But, of course, they're not going to want to take the slut home to mommy, and they're not going to want to be seen with the slut necessarily, at least not after they her. Sorry, that was a little error there. And again, the pressure comes from the other women and the fashion industry, which has created this whole big hype thing around itself, like you've got to be wearing this. And most of it is crap. 90% of it or more is crap, is really, really ugly clothes worn by ugly women. Straight men are not picking these women, and straight men are not designing these clothes. And I don't believe that's an evil, insidious plot. I mean, I do joke around that. I do, I make a joke like the whole fashion industry is a gay plot designed by gay men to turn straight men gay by making women ugly. Because that's what it seems like to me. They choose really, really ugly women, really skinny, anorexic-looking women with no discernible figures whatsoever, with hideous faces, most of them. There are some attractive models out there. Most of them are not. The majority are not. They're chosen because they have character, because they have freaky faces. And they certainly have freak bodies. And the body style is that way because they want these tall, lanky models because they want the clothes to flow. They want the clothes to flow as they walk down the runway. And these people, these designers and the fashion industry, they don't have your best interest in mind. They don't have the interests of women in mind. They're not making clothes to make women look good. They're choosing women that make their clothes look good. To the fashion industry, a woman is exactly what a frame is to a painter. Do you think the painter really cares about the frame or the canvas? No, these are just materials. This is just how it's going to be displayed. The fashion designers only care about their clothes. That's their art. It's not about making women look good, with few exceptions. There are some designers out there, Yves Saint Laurent, we talked about Calvin Klein, the Armani stuff. I really think that these people love women and want to make women look good, for the most part. Those designers.
Betsy Johnson?
Hit or miss. Hit or miss with Betsy Johnson. She can be pretty freaky. I've seen some ugly crap come out of that camp on the fashion file, on the fashion shows. Really ugly. The stuff with uneven hems, stuff that looks like it was just pinned in a haphazard fashion. Why do they keep bringing green out? Every so often you have these whole lines of green clothes, as if green is great in nature and stuff like that, but it's just an ugly color for clothes and cars for that matter. I don't like green clothes. And every I don't know, 3-4 years they'll bring back green and and the ugliest colors of green too, like lime green and crap like that. 5670560, by the way, and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I'm just mentioning that in passing because there are no calls on the board. So I think it's a gay plot. I think the designers want to uglify women and want to promote this image of a woman, this very unrealistic image of a woman, that few women look like those models. Few women are shaped like that, proportioned like that. Few women will go through what it takes to have that kind of a figure, as in smoke a lot of cigarettes, do a lot of coke. That's what those figures come from. That's the only way that you could achieve the kind of protruding bones that these models sport as they're coming down the runway. Although every once in a while I'll see a pair of breasts, actual substantial breasts, and I think in most cases they're fake. But how fickle are you? How shallow are you? How short is your attention span? How bored are you that you have to keep buying new clothes over and over and over again? Do we really, what's wrong with finding a look that you like and sticking with it, and then maybe making little minor alterations and modifications to it as the years go by? Drop an element, add another, that kind of thing. What's wrong with having some personal style? What's wrong with coming up with something yourself? Not that you have to make it yourself, but, mix and match, things like that. They go out and they buy these whole ensembles, these whole looks, and then they look hideous. They really look gross. What could be nicer than just a skirt, flapping in the breeze, or a pair of jeans and a T-shirt on a woman?
Isn't that what the Gap is, though?
Okay.
A look that hasn't changed ever.
All right, and the greatest commercials on TV, by the way. They hit. All of their commercials are production pieces. Their ad agency deserves some kind of an award or something like that. But yeah, Gap shirts. I've got 2, 3 Gap shirts. I love them. Shirt pocket. Yeah, stuff like that. That's fine. But there's all this weird pressure. And again, I was talking about the pressure that I had when I was in high school. I can't imagine being a girl. in that school. Because, trust me, I swear to God, some of the girls must have brought clothing changes to school with them so that they wouldn't be seen in the same thing morning and afternoon. They had their pre-lunch and post-lunch wear. They must have. I mean, there were some girls, I never saw them in the same thing twice. And I don't know where they got the money for it. What kind of pressure does that put on the female peers? I'm surprised there aren't more girls running around with guns, blowing the popular girls away, blowing the cheerleaders away from the kind of pressure that the girls put on each other. Talk about pressure. 6 till 12, 560 WQAM, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, and 5670560 everywhere else. So I left the Murmurs in the car. They have a song that says "F*** in it. Did you hear it? How old are they? What year were you listening to them in?
92.
92? That ain't that old, because I got 2 CDs and one of them has some of the same stuff as the other CD on it. Maybe I'll have somebody run down to the car and get it. Or maybe I'll save it for tomorrow, because I have Jeff DeForest for the trees today. It's kind of interesting. You keep looking at me like I'm going to take a break. All right, I'll take a break. On 560 WQAM.
Only one South Florida radio station has the hammer. And you're listening to it. Goldberg, weekday afternoons at 2. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
You go to hell and you die.
Sometimes I feel that life is passing me by. Sometimes I feel like life is passing me by. When I listen to your show, it just makes me smile. When I listen to your show, it just makes me smile. When I listen to your show, it makes me feel like a child. Neil Rogers on the radio. Neil Rogers on the radio. Neil Rogers on my radio.
12 noon on the Neil Rogers Show is thank you very much, substituted by Jorge Rodriguez. What's the committee meeting going on in there all about?
Chris Reed says he's in love. Tommy just brought back our food, and that's it.
All right. Hey, Chris, how do we get a mailbox outside of our door? Who do we have to see? Yeah, we want one. What are we, chopped liver over here? We get mail, believe it or don't. Well, there were all these calls. There were all these phones ringing, like that one right there. Wait, I'll just take it. Put it back on hold. WQAM. Joe hates me.
Hello?
Hello.
Who's this?
Who are you?
I'm just saying hi. I just wanted to call and say hi, George.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
Okay.
Bye. Assholes. All these assholes, man. They think they're funny. All right, so we don't have any calls on the board. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. And have you ever heard of these people? Forest for the Trees? 2 versions of this song, by the way. Bagpipe. I thought of you. Because I know Joe Costello likes the bagpipes. They do interesting things. It's kind of cornball. But, since I played Rammstein all Friday, I thought I'd hit this. think they sampled the Farmer's Fiancé toy for this part. .560 WQAM. That was Wet Paint by Forest for the Trees. Wet Paint's the tune. And there were all these calls. I guess that'll learn me. There were all these calls on hold, and they hung up because I was playing that apparently. But so be it, because that's what I'm going to do when there are no calls. I'm going to play some tunes. I'm not going to get all bent out of shape. Thank you, Nisi. Thank you, Chuck, at the Sub Center, 199th and 441. Best meat in town, if you ask me. Nice fresh veggies. And I got a salad, so I can pick at it. And I feel way better after my cough syrup buzz. West Palm, hello.
Hello, George. How you doing?
Hello, can't hear you. That's all I'm doing.
I'm sorry. Can
There
you
you
hear
go.
me now?
Yes.
Hi. You know what you need to bring in there one day? You need to bring in one of the Meat Puppet CDs and play the song Coming Down.
Meat Puppets. Boy, that'll drive the audience away.
Not this song. This song is pretty cool. It's trust me, you'll like it. You need to give it a listen one day.
All right, well, somebody will have to send me a copy of it. I don't own any Meat Puppets.
That and Primus Space Farm. That's,
We're going to have a Primus Day one of these days. What do you guys have in the other room there in the name of Primus?
see if they have the one with Space Farm. That is a really cool song.
They don't get enough airplay in this
Tommy
film.
has Tales from the Punch Bowl.
Okay, and I've got a little bit.
You go, boy.
All right. Thank you very much. And that's it. That's it for the call. So now I really wish we had that Primus on us right now. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I got a comment for George.
You got a what for George?
Comment for George.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, this is George?
Oh, yes. How you doing, sir?
Sorry, George.
That's all right.
Hey, I just got in the car. Have you noticed how absent the comments have been about the people's these kids' parents for the most part? They've been focusing on.
That has been commented on by several people, as in where were these parents and how oblivious are they?
Yeah, and the other issue was, did you happen to catch Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes last night by any chance?
I was gone. The wife said that he did a bang-up job. He put the blame straight on the kids, which is right on.
That was it. I thought it was very profound, and he was just like, listen.
I love Andy Rooney. He's usually right on the money with stuff like that, and apparently he was last night also.
All right, George, just wanted to check in, man. I'm breaking up.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, I'll stop the screenless as soon as we get more than one line ringing at the same time. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, can I talk to George, please?
Okay, hold on. Hello, WQAM.
Yeah, can I talk to George, please?
Speaking. Hello, sir, it's me.
You're
on the air. You're on the air right now, sir.
Oh, okay. Listen, this fashion thing.
The what? The fashion thing. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're missing the point. You're missing the whole point.
Oh, well, by all means, bring me up to date.
Like mostly straight guys. Women are not getting dressed like this for you. They're dressing for each other.
Well, that's my whole point. That's why the pressure for women to look however they look comes from other women. That was exactly my point.
There's no pressure. They go looking for it. I'm in the fashion industry, so I can tell you. You know, these women, when they go for lunches and they go for charity events and stuff, that's their biggest thrill is to dress up in these outfits.
They're doing it for each other. That's exactly correct.
Yeah, but you're thinking that they're doing it for you, and the whole
because that's the general consensus. That's the big notion when the women dress up. Maybe they like to think that that they're going to catch a man's eye by dressing this way.
No, they know how to catch a man's eye. But the thing is, if they dressed up as you would wish, they'd all be in miniskirts and long boots and stuff. And the fact is, in order to continue
shorts, halter tops, tube tops. I'm sorry, go ahead.
In order to continue this enormous, multi-billion-dollar industry,
sure it is.
You have to change every 5 minutes.
And they have to convince the public that this is the thing to do.
Yeah, well,
but
they don't.
Not.
But that's done during the
I
magazines.
mean, what's the big deal anyway with clothes? I mean, how important is it when you get right down to it? Put on a pair of pants and a shirt and go to work. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but they're getting a lot of people's ego involved in that, you know.
No, there's no question. That's what I'm
it's
talking
also
about.
like the automobiles. They're trying to show off what they can afford.
Right,
I mean,
right,
every designer label.
It's all a
every
big,
Versace
shallow, superficial fest.
You can recognize the Versace outfit anywhere. I mean, with his head of the lion on everything, and same applies with Tommy Hilfiger. He's got his name stuffed everywhere.
Oh, I know.
So the people can see they can afford to buy that crap. You know, that's what it's about.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Somebody should let Tommy Hilfiger know a thing or two about self-promotion. Talk about how did he scam that? Getting his name on everything. Everything. Tommy Stinkfinger. 9 after 12 on QAM. Don't go nutty. Miami, hello.
Hey, George.
Hey.
How you doing, man? I graduated high school the same year you did, but from Cuban High, Miami High.
Okay.
And you talk about an outcast, dude. I used to hang out with the stoners, you know, with a rock concert shirt and all, you know, and I'm a Julio like you, but I just chose to hang out.
Dude,
wear my desert boots and Levi jeans, and but just because I had black hair, you know, and I spoke Spanish, I was an outcast, you know.
You were an outcast there, but I thought it was all Julios.
Not at Miami High, man.
Not at Miami High?
Everybody's a Julio at Miami High anyway.
Oh, that's what I thought, but they were dressed, in those days, they were doing the pointy shoes.
Yeah, I was disco high, man.
All right.
High, man. Hey, George,
yes.
Real quick. For the first time in my life, I have to take a drug screening test. Is there really something that works for that?
There are lots of things.
There are
lots of things. As a matter of fact, we had a call the other day. It used to be you'd have to make like a gallon of the tea and drink the whole freaking thing. Now it's like down to a glass. I don't know exactly what's going on anymore. I used to be an expert, but there's so many new things now that you just need to go into the GNC and read labels on everything.
Okay, man.
The GNC has every drug testing product imaginable.
Should I go to a head shop maybe?
Maybe, but
Maybe
Tommy says no. I've seen everything in the GNC, all of the drug treat.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good day, George.
No problem. You too.
Bye.
Okay, now Joe. 10 after 12 on 560 QA.
Dude, don't say pig f***er in front of Jesus.
Shining on us with a big track to renew my pubic hair. I'm shaving my nuts, squat on the mirror to view my hairy sagging hair. My girlfriend wants me to have no hair. She wants them smooth and clean when she's down there. If I wanna get some, I've gotta shave my nuts. I'm shaving my nuts like a squirrel. She holds them in a place that's moist. I'm shaving my nuts, cause she can get your nose, so I really have no choice. If I wanna get laid by my girl, I have to pay the way through the hair for her tongue to swell. If I wanna get some, I gotta shave my nuts. Use some lotion, girl.
1216 560 WQAM. One call on the board, 5670560 pound 560 on the mobile one line. And when that call disappears, I got another song that isn't as good, but it's sure as long, from Forest for the Trees, Jeff DeForest for the Trees. So the reason that I made the assumption that the women get dressed up for men is because that's what Janine Garofalo said. Oh, thank you very much. Bring him on in here. I'll play some Primus a little bit later on, if it keeps up like today. Hey, it's Monday, and it's always like this. I've heard the old man do the most amazing monologue, on a Monday, and have the same thing, which is why I'm not going to bust my hump. I'm also not going to waste any of my good material on a Monday. I'll save that for later on in the week. This is a free-for-all today. Tell me where I can go horseback riding and actually get the horse into a run. Tell me how much it's going to cost me to rewire a outlet from 110 to 220. Anything like that. Tell me that the fashion people are Nazis. So I was watching Janine Garofalo.
She's not a member of the heterosexual persuasion.
I don't think so, because she's awfully man-hating, and I never did anything to her. And she's dissing the fashion industry also, but somehow blaming men for the fashion industry and blaming men for the fact that women go through all of this crap, all of the things that they do, which obviously, and she's a hypocrite because if you've ever seen her, it's obvious she goes to great lengths to look as doggedy as she does. She goes way, way, way out of her way to make things clash and to look as gross as she does. That didn't just happen by accident. If she dressed in the dark, she wouldn't look as disheveled and as all over the place as she does. So what she's doing is just as bad as what the other people are doing. You don't tell me that she's not taking time to look like that. That's obviously by design. Her look is intentional. But she blames men for the fact that women go through, they jump through flaming hoops in the name of fashion with the hair and the makeup and the clothes and all the money that they spend and all the time that they spend. You see women at work or at school or something like that, you know that they've spent at least an hour that morning just on their face. At least an hour. If you've had a girlfriend or a wife or a mother or a sister and you've watched them put on makeup, you know exactly what kind of time is involved. And you see with the hair, between the hair and the hairspray and the curlers and the curling iron, and then all the different, first the pancake, then the lips, then the lip liner, then the lipstick, then the eyeliner, then the mascara, the eyeshadow. And she's got the gall to say that they're doing it for the men. Well, first of all, that's wrong. They're not doing it for the men. They're doing it to impress each other because they don't have to do anything for the men except show up. But she's blaming, anorexia and bulimia and this whole obsession with your appearance on men. Janine Garofalo.
She's not a member of the heterosexual persuasion.
Which I'm sorry, honey. I mean, she was slamming the fashion industry, and rightly so, as a bunch of superficial assholes who want you to do nothing but spend your money on them. And they're just like the other artists. They're artists. The designers are artists like any other artist, and the modern art scene is a big, fat farce. It's a big joke. The swill that's out there, some of it's good. I don't know how much of it. A tenth of it maybe is good. The rest of it is just, it's just crap. They're just throwing crap onto a canvas. They're I don't have to explain it to you. You've seen it if you've ever been into a modern art museum, unless you're one of those people that's actually fooled by it all. That thinks that there's something, spectacular about a blob of clay, a misshapen blob of clay, or a bunch of scrap metal welded together in a random fashion. If you think that's art, what an insult to the Rodins of the world and, and the Van Goghs and all the people who are real artists, that their stuff is hanging in the same buildings as this stuff. We went to the Met in New York, and the wife drags me out of the real art area, especially out of the Egyptian area. I could have spent all day in the Egyptian area, the rebuilt temple that they had in there, and drags me over to the modern art wing. She just had to see the modern art, taking art classes in school, all that. Okay, I'm an open-minded guy. I'll go see the modern art stuff. Oh, and there it was, in all of its glory. They had iron rectangle bolted to a base, and it was symmetrical. Boy, it was a beautiful example of symmetry. It was 4 by 5. It was 3 foot by 4 feet. It had a right angle in it, 90 degrees. I put a business card up against it. Sure enough, it was a 90-degree right angle bent at the base of it where it was bolted to the base, and it was black. It was as black as iron can be. And there it was in the Met. That's art. Someone made that. Then you had the giant 15 by 25 foot pieces of canvas with 3 splotches in the middle. At least the splotches were different color from each other. They had red splotch, yellow splotch, and blue splotch, each going in a different direction, which was, and you can see exactly what the artist did. He dipped his brush, a big fat brush, like the kind that you would paint your house with, dipped it in a color and went splat right across the canvas, and then went the other way with another color and the other way with another color. And there it is, hanging in the Met. That's modern art. And that's the fashion industry is just another manifestation of the modern art thing. They're making this ridiculous crap. Ridiculous crap. I mean, luckily, only the women are getting fooled by it. I don't know why I say luckily. At least, the men, for the most part, aren't buying the crap. We're still wearing jeans and T-shirts. That's a very simple, innocuous thing that you're wearing there today. What is that? What would you call that? A sweatshirt? A long john shirt? Some kind of a thing? It's got long sleeves. It looks like a long john shirt from here with buttons on it. What?
A Henley, maybe?
Yeah, shirt and pants. Shirt and pants. Thank God that we're not.
They're cords.
They're cords. Are they? Micro or they're the fat cords. Do they go vip, vip, vip when you walk? You don't have the fat thighs for that? Anyway, not too bad. Palm Beach, hello. Palm Beach, 9 minutes, 18 seconds. And goodbye. Mobile in Coral Springs, hello.
Jean Garofalo's full of bull.
Yes.
She would look best in the type of fashion that they wear over in Iran, where the only thing that you can see of the women are their eyes sticking out.
Where they keep their face covered, right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't make a silk purse out of a
didn't know. I never.
And if there was ever a sow's ear, she's one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And for her to blame men about the different gyrations that women go through as far as fashions is concerned, it's ridiculous.
It's laughable.
90% of the men, the most alluring thing that a woman could wear would be absolutely nothing.
Right.
And
right.
anything
or something that shows stuff.
a lot.
Right.
Anything over and above that is
a lot of cleavage. Nice.
Anything over and above that just gets in the way.
That's right. That's all we're looking for. We're not looking for the clothes. We're looking around them.
That's right. So don't blame us for your problems.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
No problem. Yeah. Well, I'm glad he saw that too. She does stand up, and and it's sometimes funny and sometimes not. And like when she rips the Bible, she goes into a 10-minute apology about what a great book it is. It's like, why can't you just rip the Bible? It's not a great book. It's horrible. Full of murder and child murder and rape and slavery. It's not great. It's the worst. WQAM.
Hey, George, how's it going?
All right. Oh, turn the radio off.
I'm sorry. I
I sound like
expecting a screenless here or anything like that.
Well, it's just a slow Monday. It's a typical slow Monday, but I learned from other people, and I'm not going to go through what Neil goes through on these Mondays. I'm just going to kick back.
Just say no.
Just
it's
say
South
no.
Florida, man. I used to be into Janine Garofalo back when she
Me
was on the
too.
Ben
I
Stiller
liked it.
show.
On Larry Sanders, I thought she was great.
Larry Sanders back in the Ben Stiller show, she was great. But
Yeah.
then I started hearing her talk more, and it just lost it.
She's
lost
good as long as she's reading somebody else's material, like a script or something like that.
Yeah.
Her
When
own
she starts talking
material is
for
kind of
herself,
bitter and unfunny.
very bitter, very bad. I think she must have been, held too much as a child underwater or molested. One of the two.
There you go.
All right, hey, good show.
Oh, thank you very much. Is that it? Okay, no problem. 1224 on 560 WQAM.
Have you ever turned on the radio and said, that song makes me sick? Well, now, KO Pectate Records presents songs that make you want to throw up.
The dogs are gonna upchuck on you. I got a bad case of feeling you.
Yes, on songs that make you want to throw up, you get Sting.
If I ever lose my mind on you.
A complete farfarama. And who could forget the classic?
Puke, 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 puke and hurl. Puke, puke, puke and hurl. Puke, puke, puke and hurl. Puke, puke. You know you make me wanna bark. This is my groceries. Roll my chow now. Cut my cookies. Tuck my noodles. Keep on you, man.
You're puking to the puking. Songs that make you want to throw up.
1228 560 WQAM. Well, that's exciting news. We just got a call from a friend of the show, and we're going to get free passes so that we can go see Matrix. That makes me feel better because then I don't have to feel like my money, not even a penny of my money, not a fraction of a penny wound up in Keanu's pocket. So I feel better about that. Although Joe says that we should go see it at the Movie Co. at the Sawgrass. Is it?
It's out on 75.
Yeah, that's a bit of a schlep. We'll talk about it.
The best theater I have ever been to in my entire life. The only thing I can equate it to is a Las Vegas casino.
Keep talking. I gotta see.
Bless you.
Oh man, this cold. So anyway, we'll talk about that. And as far as the other thing, the Star Wars connection, I thought about it, and I don't want to talk about that on the air because what the guy was talking about is kind of a underground thing. So I don't want to talk about that. But if anybody does have some Star Wars hookups, by all means, we'll whore the vacation shows for anything and anybody so that we don't have to stand in line and get in early. Because obviously I want to see it the first day and when it comes right out, but I'm not going to do the cattle call thing. I'm not going to stand in a long line. I'm not going to get a bad seat. I'm not going to do that. Pound 560 on the Mobile 1 line, 5670560, anywhere else. Thank you, Tommy, for bringing Primus in. And if that doesn't work, we've got more of this Forest for the Trees thing, a really long cut, because nobody at all wants to talk today. This is the driest ass town. Now look at that. They were just a line checker. Here, I'll try it again. WQAM, hello.
George.
Yes.
Hey, it's
Listen, I'm the one that's going to get you the movie passes.
Okay.
I was going to tell you, if you want, I can see what I can do about maybe getting you and whoever else in to see Star Wars before it comes out.
Really?
Yeah, that way you don't have to wait in any lines or anything.
Oh, well, I've already sold my current kid to Arabs, but if I have another one, it's yours, man.
Yeah, but when I find out if I'm going to be able to do that, I'll get back in touch with you.
Oh, please.
Because I run all the projectors and whatnot as a second job. So
Okay.
I'll let you know on that.
Groovy, thanks.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow. All right, this is great. Boy, horror in the show. Did you bring your shopping list, Joe? This is excellent. We were just talking last week with some of the other coworkers around here how this is the most shameless place as far as the hopping up with the freebies. And I'm not talking about the talent. I'm not talking about the people on the air, which most people outside of radio assume, and in many cases correctly so, that the people on the air are the ones that are whoring up and hopping up all of the freebies. But not in this place, baby. It is a free-for-all, as in free for all who have the ability and the means to get it. So any shred of guilt that I had about whoring the show for free crap disappeared a long time ago in this place. Boy, I mean, it is kooky here. It is kooky. People walking up and down the halls with shopping carts, U-Haul trucks downstairs every day. Big ticket items, man. Big refrigerator, big ticket items. Who is that? Is that my good buddy?
Our good buddy George Corso.
Our good buddy George Corso, who we love, who's the most overworked man in radio. 28 to 1 on 560 WQAM. I'll play one more of the wet paint stuff. You know what this sounds like, don't you? Not as good as the other song, but it's long. It's really long, and I'm just going to play it. See if anybody decides to call up. Don't feel pressure. I mean, don't put yourself out. I realize it's Monday. You don't have to have any material.
And here we have
5670560. Pound 560 on the mobile one line. Okay, these people were good enough to call, so I'm not going to make them wait, but I just paused it. Boy, I could fire that thing off in a second if you make me. Mobile in Miami, hello.
Hey, George, what's up?
Hey.
Hey, I ain't got no material. I just want to hear myself on the radio.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for calling with no material. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hey, George, how you doing?
All right.
Hey, on the fashion thing, one of the probably the best-looking things that I've ever seen on a woman is a nice pair of Levi's.
Yeah.
And
you know what's really nice about the Levi's? I'll let you do your material, but the Levi's, when they're kind of baggy around the top and the hem, and you can kind of look down the front or the back a little bit there.
Yep.
Isn't that's the biggest thrill?
Yeah, if you ever
go ahead.
Ever going back up north and visiting family or whatever, even with me having a fiance and all, but I tell you, one of the best things is there's a nice looking woman in a nice pair of faded Levi's.
Right.
With a flannel shirt, a T-shirt underneath it.
Yep.
Because there's some mystery there. When you live down in the state, especially near the water, for so long, or in South Florida in general, it's all there to see anyway.
I don't get tired of that, but I
don't
know what
get
you're talking about.
I'm not saying I get tired of it. It's still nice once in a while.
I also
to check the base.
they make long john shirts in different colors and stuff for the girls. They have like a little pink bow on the collar and everything like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
For the
very
women.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, boss.
All right, take it easy. And that's especially cool is like after a big sledding party, everybody strips down to the long johns to get around the fire. You strip down to the long johns, you put your clothes somewhere where it'll dry, and everybody's running around in long johns, which is, kind of interesting. I mean, you have your underwear on under them in most cases, but nevertheless, it's kind of like a pajama party, and you all sit around the wood stove and have hot cocoa. That's another bonding moment that we have up north that you don't have down here, generally speaking. Mobile in Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Jorge!
How you doing?
All right.
I don't have much material, but
If you have any, you're ahead of the game.
a little fashion comment. I was playing down at the beautiful Doral Resort and Spa today, and they were having a fashion shoot, and they had all the big guns out there. Models, there's nothing finer to look at than those long, curvaceous legs.
Well, it depends on which ones you're talking about.
Well, female.
Of course. But I mean, some of them are just they don't have anything there. They have no figure whatsoever. They're too thin, way too long. I mean, they could be that tall if they had some meat on their bones, but it's just long and thin, and it looks freaky.
I'm with you. That little Kate Moss, I mean, she looks like she's got a body like a 12-year-old boy. I mean, I want nothing to do with that. But what I'm talking about is, not the supermodel, but the ones that are out there working the streets. You got some good-looking women out there. Nothing looks finer on them. It doesn't matter what you put on the woman, just as long as it's attached to a little short skirt. I mean, forget it all. The shoes, forget it. Tops, forget it.
All right.
Strap them on a little tiny short skirt. And Fashions by Nick Holfer puts out the best short mini skirts there are.
Yeah.
Scratch and sniff in the works. All right, guys.
All right,
Take care.
thank you very much. Yeah, I'm big on the micro mini, the little mini skirt. And you know what else is good too? Is the open-toed shoe. I'm a big fan of the open-toed shoe. You don't like it. There's a logic to this. Number one, toes, if they're attractive, can be very nice. You don't like feet at all? What's the deal? You just don't like feet?
Hate feet.
You hate feet. Well, you know what? I don't have like a foot fetish or anything. I just think that they can be an attractive thing. But the important part about the open-toed shoe is you get to see what you almost never see, and that is how well they take care of their toes. Because
you tried to explain this to me.
Yeah, and other people agreed to me. Yeah, you don't like it. See, if they have dirty toes, they're a pig. If they have dirty, grungy toes with the nail polish flaking on them and stuff like that, that's a grotesque thing, and you don't want to be surprised by that later on. I'm telling you. Just one look at the grungy toes, and it'll really turn you off. Well, I guess you don't even look at them at all. You don't look at the feet at all. How can you not like feet?
I hate feet. They're disgusting. They're creepy looking. They're callous.
Never sucked on a girl's toes. He's groaning. Why didn't you groan on Mike? He just revulsed in the other room. You've never sucked on a girl's toes?
Never in my life.
Never stuck your tongue in between their toes?
No.
Never licked the foot?
No.
Okay. All right.
Hate the foot.
All right. I understand that. Anyway, George is a big fan of open-toed shoes.
Obviously.
Open-toed shoes. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time on the feet, but it's something to do.
Don't get me wrong.
They're clean and nice.
Hacking people.
Put the whole foot in your mouth.
I just don't like them. There's
right.
so many other better parts of a woman. The side, the breast.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, what are you doing, man?
Trust me, they like it. Trust me. If you think they like shaved nuts, trust me, they like this too. Mobile and Boca, hello.
Hey, George.
Hey.
Joe probably has smelly feet, so he didn't like feet on other people or something.
I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. I've never met a guy that didn't like it.
I mean, a woman with beautiful feet, that's, you're right, it's all good. But I got a question. That movie theater that he's talking about, is it that one that looks like the giant Egyptian temple off of 75?
Joe says yes.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I got to check that out.
He says the theater in there is really good.
Yeah, but it's not that close to Sawgrass. I mean, it's like, 15 minutes away. It's on the other side of 595. So.
Oh, on the other side?
Yeah.
That's a schlep when I live.
It's like by Sheridan
from
Street.
So many good theaters. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. No problem. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
George.
Yes.
Hey, man. What do you think about local music in South Florida?
What, I like Crease. I like, whatchamacallit, Camel Toe. And I'll listen to any local music that's out there if they send me the tapes.
That's
and by the way, the Nocturnal sent a tape to Neil. It sat in here for like 2 months. He never listened to it. I did.
Yeah.
It was so-so. But I'll listen to anything local if somebody will send me a tape.
I'm going to send you a couple tapes to the estate.
Hey, on the George doing the show while Neil's on vacation show, I'll play anything local that I think is good.
Yeah, I'll definitely get that to you. They're going to play at Churchill's on May Day. They're sort of like on that London British invasion thing. But check them out. They're going to be really good.
Okay.
Take it easy, George.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, yes, I'll take that break now, Joe, please. Jeez, what a pain in the ass. Have you ever produced anybody else's shows? Are you that kind of a Nazi with the other people? When have I failed to take a break? Don't answer that. 20 till 1, 560 QAM.
Check out QAM on the internet. Just go to www.wqam.com.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
You've got to stick your spoon in it, lad. Don't worry, it's not going to break.
all day long. I eat ding-dongs and stuff my face with chocolate. Oh, I love the taste. It goes right to my waist. My belt, I just can't buckle it. When that ice cream float goes down my throat, everything's okey-doke until I see the numbers on the scale. Oh, nothing can replace those donuts by the case. I sit at home and stuff my face. 40 Twinkies and a fat donut to munch. Yeah, a big star like me, baby, I was born to lunch. Oh, yes, I was born to lunch. Lunch.
15 till 1, 560 WQAM. Before we get into all these calls, I'm going to rip Joe for never touching a woman's feet. Old business. Remember on Friday we were talking about the shooting, et cetera, and so on, and a guy called in and said, that his dad said that they didn't have all this child anger and child rape and everything like that in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Well, we got a fax saying he's wrong. They did have all that stuff. It was covered up. We even looked in the almanac over the weekend. There was all kinds of incidences, and they were covered up. And the media wasn't what it is today, and families didn't report these things because they reflected badly on the families. So there was this stuff went on for years. We even found hundreds, thousands of years ago. We found all of these incidences that went on that they don't teach you in history class. And I got another fax from some guy that says skinheads are all repressed homosexuals. We were talking about that too, because every time you find them, there are no girls around. So I wonder what's up with that. That could be. Let me tell you, if you're gay and you don't want to admit it to yourself, there's a lot of anger right there. All the hazing in the military and in the schools, that's what that is, misplaced homosexual feelings. If you admitted it to yourselves, you'd be way happier. And also on some very old business, the Confederate flag show that we did, we had two calls. One guy called up and said that the Confederate flag is the naval flag, not the battle flag, which is what I said that it was. So I looked it up, and he's wrong, I'm right. It is not the naval flag. It is the battle flag, as I said. Someone else called up and said that the Florida state flag is based on the Confederate flag, and I said it was based on the Spanish flag. He's right, I'm wrong, for now. The encyclopedia backs him up. Apparently, Florida only adopted a state flag in 1899, and according to the encyclopedia, it was based on the Confederate flag. But I find that highly dubious because the X on the Confederate flag is blue, and the Florida X, as we all know, is red, like the Spanish flag. It looks much more like the Spanish flag than the Confederate flag. As a matter of fact, it looks identical to the Spanish flag of the time, except for the seal. So, because the encyclopedia confirms him, he's wrong, he's right, I'm wrong, but as far as the other thing, it's not the naval flag, it's the battle flag, like I said, and apparently we have a whole bunch of calls on the board of people saying that Joe is not pleasing his women because he ain't touching their feet. Mobile and Tamarack, hello.
Hey, George, how you doing?
All right.
How can you not like feet?
Well, I don't know.
I got to tell you, there's a couple different slants on this.
I don't have what I would call a foot fetish. I don't. I've spoken to and read of the foot fetish people. Trust me, I'm not into what they're into.
No, nor am I. But I mean, usually for me anyway.
I mean, it ain't a breast.
I'm sorry?
It ain't a breast.
No. I mean, there's the T&A,
right,
which everybody is checking out.
Right.
I have a personal preference that I look at lips, and I kind of work my way down. I mean, there was this girl this one time. She was gorgeous from head to until you got to her feet.
I've been there.
And she had these feet where her toes were all like skeleton and hanging over, and it was like, it was scraping the ground, and it was like done. And she was gorgeous, and she needs to cover them up.
You couldn't get past the feet thing. I've encountered that. But nice feet are fun to play with.
And they are, and you got to kind of picture them when they're sticking straight up in the air. It's just a nice set of feet behind your back. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
All righty.
Thank you very much. What are you all outraged about now, Joe?
I don't want to give the impression that I don't look at feet at all, like jacked up, calloused, corn, fungus-filled feet are okay because I don't care about feet. No, that's even worse.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
what if they're nice?
I'm
talking about if they're nice. They're nice feet. The toes are nice. Even they make a nice arch or a straight line. You don't have like the one nasty big toe sticking out or the middle toe sticking out. Nice. The pedicure is nice, either with no nail polish or a nice job. She's just out of the shower. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting there, putting lotion on and stuff like that. That's not.
Then they're just benign.
Then they're benign.
Well, I can date her.
The position of myself and obviously all of the colors on there, but you've never not even nibbled on the little toes there, just not bite, not even a little nibble.
That bone on the ankle is the Mason-Dixon line for me.
Dude, I weep for. Do we name your current girlfriend on the air? We just call her girlfriend.
No, we do not.
No, we do not. I weep for her. I weep for a girlfriend. Mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami.
George.
Hey.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
In reference to this issue with the feet, I'll tell you, I was driving and I just totally had to stop because what you said hit home so close. If I look down, the first thing that I'll do is look down at a woman's feet. If her feet are not taken care of, in my view, as far as I can I'm 86. I figure that if she can't go down there, she certainly ain't going anywhere else.
That's the whole point. If she's neglecting the toes, what else does she not care about? What else is she not paying attention to?
And especially nowadays, and I'll tell you, you see a nice set of feet, their toes have been taken care of,
right.
well manicured. To me, it's a nice turn on that they take pride in the way that they want to present themselves.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how many times I've been at get-togethers and I'll sit down and first thing I'll do is I'll look at their feet and I'll say to myself, Jesus Christ, what's this guy gotten himself into? It's just a real turnoff, and
sure it is.
To our buddy there that's using the Mason-Dixon line at the
ankle, yeah.
He just hasn't ran into the right set of feet yet.
He insists that that's not the case. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
He insists that no, it's just the feet. They could be the nicest feet in the world. They could look and smell like pink rose petals, and he's still not going to put them in his mouth, right?
Right.
Okay.
In fact,
yeah.
I have a certain attraction to shoes because
they cover the feet.
They cover the feet.
You are a strange man, Joe Costello. Loxahatchee, hello.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
All right.
What's wrong with this guy on the other side of the glass?
I don't know, dude.
There's nothing sexier than a woman in a nice dress with nice legs and gorgeous open-toed shoes with
beautiful, nice, like skinny straps, like the skinny straps.
Oh, there's this commercial they show on TV.
Foot, like the Roman sandal look, that kind of thing.
You've probably seen it, George, because you're a TV guy like me.
Uh-huh.
And there's that commercial where that guy gets locked in the bathroom, and they show his wife. Down on the phone, they show her feet.
No. I'm
strapless, like stiletto heels. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
That's the shoe, not the foot.
But no, it's the foot.
It's because it shows
her foot.
That's why. Thank you, sir.
And if you're at the ankles, what the hell?
I don't know.
You might as well do it. You're there.
Go for it, Joe. Come on. All right, sir.
Later, guys.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's like the shoes that I find attractive are the shoes that are revealing, like the clothes that are revealing. And again, there's more of an issue because I want to see the toes because I want to see if they're gnarly. Because I don't want to be shocked and dismayed later on. And sometimes, like the other guy said, right down to the ankle, they're great. And then you see the toes and they're, and uneven toes isn't even as bad as like the dirty toes or the chipped nail polish. Ladies, if you're going to paint your toes, keep them up or just don't paint them. You know what? Don't paint them. Just keep them clean. Clean the grunge out from underneath them, file them, trim them, and that's it, and then leave them alone. If you're going to paint them once a month and leave the flake and paint on there to look like, like some kind of a spackle job, then don't do it. Yes.
Another thing is, everybody thinks that their feet are perfect.
Right.
Have you ever met a person who said, "Oh, my feet are jacked up, don't go near there"? No. Every girl will say, "Oh, man, my feet are so cute, look at them," and then wriggle their toes around, and they could be
I heard
messed up.
Sheryl Crow say that she had ugly feet, and she's got ugly feet. They pan down to her feet. She's got some nasty feet, man, Sheryl Crow. Not that she ever did anything for me in the first place, but having seen her feet, she's the safest woman on the planet right now. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, what kind of shoes did they make that poor girl wear? I have no idea how you get feet like that. But anyway, that's the case. Mobile in South Miami, hello.
Sheryl Crow's feet, huh?
Sheryl Crow's feet, absolutely.
That's her other name. What you were saying about the skinheads,
Yeah.
About them being latent homosexual.
That's what the Faxer guy said. I just
I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just like adding on to it. Like think about all the street gangs. Like how many men can we get in one car?
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. I'd be like the last guy to get in, scratching my head, going, why do I really want to crowd into this clown car full of guys?
Yeah, like let's drive around all night with our stereos pumped up and all sweating.
Exactly.
The homos. And Joe's missing out on the really big erogenous zone of a woman is her feet.
Oh, especially the inside of the arch. That nerve is connected directly to the clitoris, don't you know?
Woo-hoo!
Joe didn't know that. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, you are. The inner arch, if you follow the inside of the leg straight down, draw a line straight down, where that line connects to the inner arch, that nerve runs all the way up the leg. If you don't believe me, try it. Try it. Just apply some foot reflexology there on that thing. I saw the chart, and it works. It has a real positive response. It's great. You're never below the ankle. I weep. I'm going to talk to girlfriend. Next time we do a double date thing, I'm going to talk to her. I'm obviously going to have to talk to her away from you, because if you're sitting there, she's going to say some things about it. I bet you that she's foot deprived. As a matter of fact, she's going to cheat on you based on this. That's my prediction. Kendall, hello.
Hey, George, how are you?
All right.
Enjoying the show, especially on toes.
That was my mistake. I should have started the show on feet today.
Let me tell you, there's so much truth to judging a woman by her toes. There's nothing sexier than going to a party and seeing a bunch of women with their sandals and judging them by their toes.
That's a nice line up there.
Very correct. If they take care of the toes, they take care of everything else.
Well, I always figure because that's like the furthest thing away from their face and their eyes, so it's like out of sight, out of mind thing. I figure if they're getting all the way down to their toes, they're getting everything in between as well.
Exactly.
That's
and
the logic.
If you have a pedicure or you have a beaver cure.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, the other point I wanted to make, your friend there that doesn't believe in giving a little nibble on the toes, if he can just nibble a little bit, have the girl nibble his toes, and he'll feel the lightning rods going up his back. And that tingling sensation, he won't even have to shave.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, and you're breaking up. I can't have a girl nibble on my toes because I'm incredibly ticklish. So that rules that right out. As a matter of fact, I got to be drunk before there are like a whole bunch of areas on my body that I can have touched without me just freaking out and jumping straight up in the bed. I'm a really ticklish guy. The least ticklish person in my family, by the way. The rest of the people in my family, you can tickle them just by doing this, just by getting your finger close to them and pretending that you're tickling them. They'll freak and leave the room. They'll freak and leave the room. I'm not that bad. But toe nibbling? Oh, my God. That's it. You can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. I will run away. But, oh, man, Joe's girlfriends have never had their toes nibbled on. This is a stigma. You realize everybody's giving you crap. It's not going to end. This is a stigma. You're going to have to wear this around your neck like an albatross for the rest of your life. You're going to have to wear the scarlet letter. You're going to. It's going to look like a foot with a circle and a line through it, and we're going to make you wear that on your chest for the rest of your life.
With all the beautiful places on a woman's body, why?
They're all good, dude. They're all beautiful. There isn't a bad part on them. You're saying that there's a bad part.
But if you were to rank the parts,
they'd be low. They'd be low down on the list. But nevertheless, well, I don't avoid it. 2 till 1, 560 QAM.
Only one South Florida radio station has the hammer, and you're listening to it at Goldberg, weekday afternoons at 2, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hey, Grable, are you gay? I mean, are you a real raving homosexual? Good. Then you've probably got an excellent sense of fashion, and Chico's fashion design needs you. Everybody knows that the only good fashion designers are women and overly flamboyant queer men. Straight men have the fashion sense of a slug. Because only when you've been butt-loved by another man do you truly understand that you've got to make do with what you've got and make it really beautiful. So, if you are a little light in the loafers, good for you. Come on over to my place tonight and we'll explore your wild side. But, if you're a super homo catcher gay boy, skip on down to Chico's Fashion Design and show the rest of the world that just because you like to kneel doesn't mean that you can't be on top of the world.
103.560 WQAM, the persecution of Joe continues as his girlfriend calls off the air and is angry at him because she feels like the whole town is going to think she has nasty feet and that's why you won't touch them. Which, see how you're making the girl feel right away. Right off the bat, you're making her feel bad, like she's got nasty feet. I've never seen her feet. She's very cute. I've never seen her feet. Cute feet? Oh, she's
They're
listening.
fine. They are of the benign nature.
But she's listening, so you have to say that. Nevertheless.
I wouldn't date her.
And then we could, okay. All right. Well, there you go. But you've never done this. You've never given a woman a foot massage, first of all. And she said this.
Correct.
She said, you're giving her a foot massage today or it's over with.
Or the relationship's over, right. So all you women out there, 5'7", good-looking guy, snappy dress.
And I say,
oh!
You owe her a foot massage. How do you get laid? That's led into getting laid so many times for me. As a matter of fact, we were just talking about the whole team camaraderie. You know, the track and cross country. After a 2-mile race, those girls' feet are tired and hot and aching and everything like that. And so, you know what? My hands wash real easy. My hands wash real easy. I mean, let's face it. After sex, there's a lot of things you want to wash. But nevertheless, you know, hey, let me take your shoes off. All right, you've never done this, Joe Castello. You're taking the girl's clothes off because you said during the break also that the stocking-clad feet don't bother you. Like if she's wearing socks, that doesn't bother you.
It's not as bad. No, it's
not as
I'll
bad.
Foot,
oh my God! So you're disrobing the girl. You're disrobing this girl in question, and you take her clothes off. You leave the socks on, or you take the socks off. When you're taking her clothes off, you're getting ready to go. We're gearing up for sex now.
Socks off, stockings on.
Stockings on. You put stockings on them?
No, I don't put them on, but if they're there, I leave them.
If they're there, but I mean, you take the socks off though. So when you take the socks off, you've never brushed the lint off their feet, paid a little attention to the feet while you're there, nibbled or not as the case may be, just spend a little bit of time caressing the feet, wiping the little white fuzz from the socks off of their feet.
No, just incidental contact.
Just, admire, the imprint of the socks on the feet and everything like that, and just, linger at the feet a little while before
What are you talking
move
about?
On up. I'm talking about the feet. I'm talking about paying attention to the woman's feet on the way to paying attention to other parts. But to ignore the feet, that's like this whole area. This whole thing. And I guarantee you're not going to find a woman, unless she's extremely ticklish like me, that's going to call up here and say that she doesn't enjoy foot attention from men. You're not going to find one.
Well,
again, unless it's over the ticklishness issue. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
George.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
A super clean girl's one that has a French manicure on her toes.
Uh-huh.
Yep, and you can believe 2 coats plus clear, the girl is spotless.
That's a good
good analogy, George.
Good analogy, good plan.
Right.
I wouldn't require them to have a French manicure. I mean, although obviously they put some time and money into their feet if they've got a French manicure. But if they're just clean, that's good enough for me. If it's just nice and trimmed and clean and no dirt under the nails,
right,
that's okay. As a matter of fact, I kind of like the non-manicured toe. I mean, the non-painted toe, because then you can see exactly. Let's face it, toenail polish hides paint. I mean, toenail paint hides dirt. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, George. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that. I think if I was going to do a foot inspection, I would rather have no paint, no polish, because then that doesn't hide any of the dirt that gets under there. Yeah, paint will hide a variety of indiscretions. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Yeah, hi, George.
Hi.
Very, very timely subject this morning.
Well, we just fell backwards into this.
Oh, it just, I've been depressed all week because of the stuff, and this morning I'm back on track, and Joe doesn't have a clue how to treat a woman.
I'm telling you, that's what his girlfriend called up and said, and she does. By the way, everyone, Joe's girlfriend has wonderful feet, and here's the challenge. If Joe doesn't give her a foot massage, we will find someone to give her a foot massage.
It's the best foreplay in the world.
I've got a professional that'll give her a foot massage if you won't do it. Go ahead, sir.
The best foreplay in the world is to massage a woman's foot. And if she doesn't take care of her foot, I think the man should take care of it for him because they just love it. It's the best way to spend time, I know.
Okay.
And a very enjoyable morning to prove it.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I would, if it was like a girlfriend, because obviously if their feet are nice and cleaned and trimmed and pedicured, they have to have pedicures, and either they're doing it themselves or someone else is doing it. So if it was my girlfriend and she, kept her feet up and she wanted me to trim her toenails on an occasion, I guess I would do that. That'd be okay. Mobile in Miami, hello.
Georgie.
Yes, sir.
You're absolutely right. Anytime I offer to massage a woman's foot, they all get excited about it.
They love it. They allow you to do it. And how many times has it led to more than that?
Well, every time I do it, it leads to more than that. I don't do it to every woman, but every time I do it,
I asked Joe, how do you score?
Because they love you doing their feet, and they kind of lay back.
Right.
In their ecstasy, you work your way up to their calves.
And like I said, that's an erogenous zone there, right? Yeah.
So it's great. But listen, I just want to make a comment. I heard some of one of the news stations that these idiot kids that shot all those other kids at Littleton actually had plans of hijacking a plane and crashing into New York.
Oh, they had all these kinds of kooky plans.
Why couldn't they done that first?
Okay, yeah. There you go.
We wouldn't have missed the New Yorkers. We wouldn't have missed the planes or these kids.
All right, sir. Thank you. Not at all. Oh, by the way, and just to put this all in perspective, by the way, this was not the worst school killing in history, in U.S. history. There was the Bath thing in the 1930s where like 35 kids were killed and some teachers and stuff like that, and the guy used dynamite, by the way. And about half of the dynamite that he planted went off. Only about half of the dynamite that he actually planted went off. So he wanted to blow up the whole school like these kids wanted to blow up the whole school. And, and then he went and blew himself up. So not the worst one in the world. We'll do the breaks all around your girlfriend. Hello, Joe's girlfriend. How are you?
Hello?
Girlfriend X, yes?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
It's Janita.
Okay, I didn't know if you were allowed to say your name on the air or not.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's out there now.
It's Joe's girlfriend, then. How
yes,
about that?
It is Joe's girlfriend.
Since Joe's decided to ruin our relationship on the air, I thought I'd call and at least have my own voice be heard.
Absolutely.
I actually have great feet, by the way.
Okay.
I have great feet. I do.
The next time we get together, you'll show me your feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sure, no problem.
Now,
so you know what? In Joe's defense, he's not really that bad about it. It's not like he gets grossed out, but he doesn't even want to be touched by them.
Really?
If I nicked him, yeah.
Really? Well, see, his whole attitude over here is they're just grody appendages, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with them.
I know.
That's sad. You're being neglected. A whole very important part of your body is being ignored and neglected.
I hate to make reference to the conversation that was happening last week with you and Neil about something that Joe's a little particular about, but I think that if I'm a little sensitive to his preferences, then maybe he should be a little sensitive to mine. What do you think?
I think so, and again, the challenge is out there. If he doesn't give you a foot massage, we will get you one.
George, beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Excellent. Talk to you later.
Absolutely, Janina. All right, we're gonna hook up Joe's girlfriend because he is neglecting her. It's 12 after 1 on 560 QAM.
My cheeks hurt.
My anus, 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 my anus.
Hi, kids. Y'all like cutting little stinkers? That funny little sound that comes right out your sphincter? Want to copy me and do exactly like I do? Get paid for writing little songs about poo-poo? My brain's all gone. I'm trying to get my groove on, but I can't figure out which Spice Girl I'm going to fart on. And Dr. Dre asks, yo, man, you pass gas? Hell no. Why do I smell ass? Man, you low class. Well, since age 12, it seemed like I always smelled. I thought ripping gases and tooting was pretty swell. I got pissed off when I took my jeans off and fought it so hard it turned my underwear backwards like crisscross. And every night I'm like, oh, dinner at last. Then fought out my ass faster than a fat bitch who ate too fast. Smell this, honey. Yo, dude, wait a minute, that's my girl, cuz. I don't give a fuck. God sent me to stink the world up. My anus, my anus, my anus, my anus, my anus, my anus. My English teacher wanted me kicked out back in junior high. Said the problem was something crawled up my ass and died. I shot him in the face with my vapor. The worst happened later, when I covered his desk with used toilet paper. Walked in the strip club, my intestines were filled up. Mooned the bartender, took a dump in a tip cup. Went over to a dancer, had her buck in her garter. She lifted her leg up, and I knew she was a farter. 99% of my life I was lied to. I just found out my mom's got more gas than I do. I told her I'd grow up to be a famous rapper, make a record about strange noises made on the crapper. You know you was dirt when the women rushed to leave. You tried to hold it back, but your butt needed relief. This guy at White Castle said it was pretty cool, but I had to go drop the kids off at the pool. My anus, 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 smells.
118, 560 WQAM. Before we talk about how Joe's girlfriend is deprived because she lacks foot attention, that would be grounds for divorce, by the way. If they went to court and the woman said, "What?" They asked the woman why she wanted a divorce, and the judge, and she said, "He won't touch my feet." I'd bang the gavel right there and say, "Oh, well, I'm so sorry for you. Better luck next time." Hank Goldberg, 2-6 at the Dolphin Golf Tournament in Largo Mar, talking baseball with Donnie B from 6 to 6:30. Donnie B, the second most buff person in the building, by the way. Lenny Martez, I think, is the most strapping, muscular individual that we have in the building. And then comes Donnie B, and then you have mediocre people like Joe and myself, and then everyone else is a fat tub, which thank God for the fat tubs because they make us look good. Then 6:30 to 10, Atlanta Braves and Florida Marlins. Ed Kaplan, 10 to 2, and then it's JT the Brick with Sports Fan Radio. Never heard it, never will. Miami, hello.
Hey, what's going on, George?
Not a thing.
Man, I tell you what, I love your show, man.
Thank you, sir.
I tell you what they need to do. Neil's on vacation, right?
Corey doesn't like feet either? All right, we'll talk about that. Go ahead, sir.
Neil's on vacation, right?
Right.
Tell you what they ought to do is they ought to, when he comes back, put you on at 2 o'clock.
Oh, no. Don't even fantasize like that.
No, I'm serious. That dude that comes on 2 o'clock, man, you talk about someone needing to get laid. I'm serious, man. That's a bitter dude.
I understand he does very well.
Another thing, you're talking about the foot thing?
Yes?
I tell you what, there's absolutely, positively nothing worse when you get to that moment and the shoe comes off. It's this gigantic size 12 with big old knobs coming off.
The bunions. And that's the thing, is I dated this ballerina, and they get this thing called hammer toe. Besides camel's foot, they get hammer toe from being in the toe shoes all the time and having their weight on their toes all the time, where they're like, I guess it's what would be the knuckle on the hand. It starts to go out sideways, and their toes start to shift over, in one direction or another. It's nasty. And they got all these calluses and everything going on.
This one girl, it must have been like an 11 or 12. This thing was huge. I never seen this big of a foot on a woman.
Yeah.
That wasn't a basketball player or something. I mean, this was huge. It's like, I didn't even want to touch it. I mean, I swear.
With knobs and stuff, you said.
Oh, it was huge. I mean, it looked like somebody's elbow. I mean.
All right.
Have a good one, man.
All right, thanks a lot. So what was the deal with Corey?
How could he not notice that, first of all, a size 12?
Well, women these days, they're wearing their Doc Martens and everything. They're all oversized shoes and whatnot. That can't be a... And who cares if they're big, if they're in proportion to the rest of the body and they're nice. Can't blame women for having big feet. You can only blame them for, not taking good care of them. You shouldn't blame them for having the toes at, like, radically different lengths. Shouldn't blame them for that. But I can't get past that. That's, that'll make me cringe.
And I don't know whether this is a good thing or not, but Corey Saban agrees with me.
The feet are nasty. Well, I'll investigate further after the show, and then we'll crucify him as well, if his aversion is to the degree that yours is. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I've never spoken to a man that wasn't attracted to a nice, beautiful woman's foot. Never met one, never heard of one. Coral Springs, hello.
Hey, Joe, man, you are a fool. You need to get yourself a book on reflexology. Because there are points on the foot that you can stimulate.
That's what I was trying to tell him.
Directly to the genitalia.
That's right.
And just a little bit of work on that, and I'm telling you, man, you will have the wildest night you've ever had in your life. If I ever got my hands on your woman's feet, you'd never see her again. I'm telling you, man.
Well, that might happen here.
I'm telling you.
And
hey, tell me this.
Without touching her feet.
Okay.
Tell me this. What was the ballerina? Once you got past the feet, I bet she had some dynamite wheels, though, huh?
That was it. Above the ankles, she was great. She was to die for. But boy, those toe shoes do nasty things to the feet.
And I bet her whole body was tight as a drum, too, huh?
Yeah. We can't talk about that. That's a sore issue with the wife.
Well, that's fine. Okay, but nonetheless, at least you had the experience.
All right. Thank you very much.
And our lucky man, I dated a girl that was a gymnast. And she had kind of, problems from the feet. She had foot problems too from the sport that she was involved in. But I'll tell you what, I readily overlooked them.
Okay.
Because the rest of the package was more than worth it.
Okay.
Joe, rub them feet, man. I'm telling you.
Rub them feet, Joe. All right, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I can talk about Ann. It doesn't matter. She was beautiful all the way down to her ankles, and then oh boy! But I forgave her feet. I broke up with her because she was a freaking bitch. West Palm, hello. Hello, West Palm. Boy, you have to mash these buttons.
Yeah, George.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
All right.
Listen, you better tell Joe. Listen, he's got it all wrong. Just like the last man said, the best pressure points on the feet are flat. If you want to get anywhere with the rest of the girl, believe me, take care of her feet. She stands on them all day.
Right.
She's in the service business.
They're in those uncomfortable ass shoes that I was talking about early on. They're in high heels. They're in these little tight toe-pinching shoes.
She can't rub them herself. It's the best thing for her.
Right.
And believe me, you'll get the best spots up there.
There you go.
Listen, one other thing. You were talking about school kids before in groups.
Yes.
When I was a school kid, they broke into 3 groups. There were the jocks. We called them the sport rats.
Mm-hmm.
They were like the hitters, which is like the cool crowd. And then there were the nerds. And the nerds used to get terrified by one or two of the others. And it's always been like that in high school for years and years and years. Just that these days they get their hands on weapons.
There you go.
That's the only difference. See you, George.
Thank you very much. And like I said before, both in school and in the workplace and on the bus and everywhere you go, bear in mind the person sitting next to you may just be one asshole away from snapping before you think about flipping. Oh, I'm on the wrong bank. Before you think about, well, that could have worked too. Before you think about flipping at the person sitting next to you, just bear in mind they could be one asshole away from losing it. That you don't know what's been going on in the rest of their life and leading up to that point. So we are going to show Joe just exactly what a good foot massage will do for a girl, if his girlfriend agrees, if Janina would like to, and if she can arrange it on a lunch to come down here. We'll get her a foot massage on the air, and we'll stick a microphone in front of her so that we can hear what she thinks about the foot massage while it's going on. She's so neglected. She's going to become a charity case, local charity. I've been wondering what charity to get behind. Here we go. Janina's feet. We're going to get behind her feet. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
George.
Yes.
Feet are disgusting.
Hey, Joe told me about you. He said you had one supporter besides Corey Sabin.
Yeah, well, all I can just take off. Just find a girl in your office building right now. Take off her shoes and just take a whiff. Do you think it's going to be a pleasing smell?
You know what? That depends. I'm not talking about stinky feet, but, I'm talking about nice, freshly washed feet or feet that haven't been sweating or something like that. No one likes stinky feet any more than they like a stinky armpit or any other part of the body when it hasn't been freshly washed.
So you basically say wash your feet before you get into bed.
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well,
we're talking, no, Joe can't stand feet no matter. They could be washed, sand-blasted, perfumed, and oiled, and he still won't go near them.
Well, it's definitely not my favorite part, whether it's clean or not clean, George. You think about it.
Hey, have you had your mouth on a woman's feet?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
Absolutely not.
You've never nibbled on a woman's toes?
There's definitely not enough money on this planet.
Okay. All right.
It's that simple. I mean, George.
No, hey, to each his own, buddy. No, you know what? Just like all the gay guys out there, I am so ecstatic. The more people like you that I hear from, the happier I'll be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, man, talk about taking all the competition out. Keep this in mind, ladies. Before you hook up with the next guy, ask him his position on feet, because I thought you were the mutant. You were the one and only mutant on the planet that didn't like feet to that extent. Not enough money in the world, this guy says, for him to touch a foot. It's 27 after 1 on 560 WQAM.
Suck it in and hold it.
One of the most acclaimed films of our time is now the musical event of the decade.
You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out.
A story about what it means to hope. A story about what it means to hop. Starring Academy Award winner Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's what it's all about.
My Left Foot, the musical.
You put your left foot back in, you put your left foot back out.
My Left Foot, the musical. This time, he's putting his best foot forward.
28 till 2, 560 WQAM, South Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
What is it with this last guy that called? He won't go near a woman's feet.
Won't go near the foot. Never had his mouth to a woman's foot. How about Joe? Did you ever kiss a woman's feet?
Does he keep a picture of his hand in his wallet or what?
I don't know.
He's got two pictures in his wallet. He's got Rosie Palm and Festina Hancock.
That's what I'm saying. Not only how do you get laid the first time, but how do you get laid the second time if you don't go near their feet?
Oh man, these guys, they don't know what they're missing. I want the whole package.
Right, exactly. It's all good.
Hey, did you guys get that puke popsicle stuff I sent you?
The what?
I sent you guys a puke popsicle tape with a preacher song on it and one about the politicians.
Oh, it's probably around here somewhere. I'll find it.
Okay, if you could you spin one for me?
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot, George.
Thank you very much. If it's good, I'll listen to it. I know what he's talking about. It's around here somewhere. So all we have to do, we have the masseur, which I knew he would agree to it because he's a whore. He'll come in and massage Janina's feet, but she has to get down here during the show. If she can't make it during the show, we'll arrange it for some other time, but I'd really want to do it during the show because there are sound effects that go along with the foot massage, as in, oh my God, things like that. Sunny Isles, hello.
Hello?
Sunny Isles, yes.
Yes, I'm calling about the feet thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't have no problem with no type of feet. As long as the woman well put together, I have no problem with her feet. Because...
Okay, well, turn the radio off for one thing, but in other words, they can be dirty and nasty. You don't care about that?
Well, I'm talking about as far as corns and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter as long as she's well put together.
All right.
I never go near her toes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. What is it, Joe?
Corns, man.
Corns. Well, I'm not, there are things you can do. You can file, you can use the compound, this and that.
There's a difference between that guy and me, though. He just doesn't care. Jacked up, dirty, twisted in a pretzel. He just doesn't care.
I understand.
Yeah, I can feel
I care.
look at him.
I care, but it's because I'm going to be spending time with them.
She's got hammer time on her feet.
Yeah.
I can't be there.
Well, again, you had to be there. You had to be there to see what I was dealing with to forgive the feet. Mobile and Kendall, hello. Got at line 6 you have to match. Mobile and Kendall, hello, yes.
Hey, George, how you doing?
All right.
I think, I don't know. I mean, I think he's gay. Yeah, that's the reason why those
Joe?
kind of guys. Yeah.
No, he's not gay.
Well, maybe he's not, but I think that's the reason why they lose
you
their women.
You got to figure, how some guys have a foot fetish where it's like really, really exciting to them.
Right.
Joe's just the opposite. He's got a foot aversion. The foot is an ugly appendage to him, which
right.
I don't understand. I see a man's foot. See, that's a gross ass thing.
Right.
A man's foot is a nasty, gnarly, hairy-looking thing, but
right.
a woman's foot is like like the petal of a flower. It's a beautiful thing,
sure.
right? It's got the little S curve to it.
You remember when you were maybe when you were a kid? Do you remember like your father used to take you? Like I remember when I was 17 and my father would go, "Hey, listen, when you get a girl, you got to do this, and you got to suck on her feet, and you got to kind of
No, man, my father, we didn't have those kinds of conversations.
Okay, well I did, and I used to cringe. I used to look at my dad and thought that he was crazy,
Now that is right.
And it's like now I'm 27 and I beg for it. You know what I mean? I beg for those things that I used to cringe about, when I was that age. But I don't know. I think it's strange. I'm sure that if he doesn't touch the feet, then he doesn't touch the backside either, I'm sure.
Well, we'll find out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we should ask him.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
All right, Joe. Ass attention. Let's go. You're on the spot. Spotlight's on you. Ass attention.
Oh, look. Break time.
Did you tell me you don't touch the ass either?
I'm not saying that.
Okay. Well, we're going to have Janina on the show. We're going to blow your love life out of here. Miami, hello.
Hey, George, how you doing, man?
Yes.
Hey, Neil's right, man. Your line's always packed, man.
They are now since we started talking about feet. When I was talking about serious crap, nobody wanted to talk to me, man. They just talked about putting feet in your mouth, and look at this.
Hey, but while you were in Montana, man, you had to notice Miami was like that, right?
All superficial, and all they cared about was your clothes and your car and your money?
Yeah, right, you're right.
When I got back here, it was shocking to me. Because I didn't have a self-confidence problem. I wasn't shy. I wasn't introverted. I was just regular guy.
Yeah,
like a regular Joe. I didn't have any problem making friends, talking to people. All my friends liked me.
Oh, God.
I wasn't the kind of guy that you threw rocks or garbage at. I was just a normal schmo. And down here it was like, it was like the Invisible Man. No one would talk to me. I would say stuff to people, and they would look around and like, did somebody say something? And I'd be standing right there, and they would look around me.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this place?
George. Regularly, I'm a chronic faxer.
Okay, well, send us something on the fax then. 23 till 2, 560 QAM.
Robert, we now join a family in Aurora.
Oh, that must be Rex. Bye, Mom.
Honey, are you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
If you want to keep Rex, honey, that'll never work.
Oh, Daddy, you need lots more makeup.
And put on your crotchless panties. They're on the floor next to my bed.
Thanks, Daddy. Now run upstairs. We'll stall Rex.
Hello, Rex. Hello, folks. Is Quitty ready?
She'll be just a second.
Say, Rex, do you have a condom? No, sir. No condom.
Good, because if you knock her up, you have to keep her, and frankly, she's a drain on our finances.
Are you planning on nailing her, Rex? Oh, yes, sir. High five, buddy.
And here she is.
Hey, baby.
You got the crotchless panties? Yes.
Cool.
Where are we going? The movies?
Nope, my trailer for some sex. That's the spirit.
Bye, honey.
Bye, Pumpkin.
Bye.
And Rex. Yes, sir? Save some for me. Yes, sir.
18 till 2, 560 WQAM. We need to hear from the women out there. We got lots of guys, and your testimonials are appreciated, but Joe needs to hear from women besides the one of our coworkers who we just asked, who said that most definitely the guy's got to massage the feet, or it's no guy, or it's go away. It's a prerequisite. It's required. Foot attention is required, which is something I've encountered a lot. Not that it was, not that they had to hold a gun to my head. Happy to do it. Happy to spend some time with the feet. So we need to hear from some women. What?
I want to know, is it so serious that an asshole guy who massages the feet is better than a good guy who doesn't?
Well, let's find out. We'll get the answer to that question, possibly, but I'll tell you right now, it weighs in. It has something to do with it. Hi, Aaliyah. Hello.
George.
Yes.
Comment and then a question for you.
Quickly, 5670560 for the women that want to tell Joe that they need foot attention. Go ahead, sir.
The guy that was complaining about the smell of the feet.
Yeah.
Women have an area that smells even worse than that. I guarantee you he goes after that.
Yeah.
And the question for you is, do you still massage your wife's feet?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
You're still married.
All right.
Take note, Joe.
No
Take
problem.
Note.
I think the reason that we're still married is because I pay all the bills and don't kick her ass out. Oh, I'm sorry. I love you, honey. Love your feet, too. Mobile and Kendall, hello.
Hey, George.
Hi, how are you?
What's going on? Hey, I wouldn't say I have a foot fetish, but I do work on the toes.
You don't have to have a fetish to appreciate the foot as an attractive thing.
No, but I do know a person that actually once he had to notice this girl that went to dinner at South Beach, kind of a blind date type of deal.
Uh-huh.
And when he did finally notice this girl's toes, he walked out on her. This is how
I can see that. I can see that going on.
Hey, this wasn't a bad-looking girl, man. Let me tell you what. But as soon as he noticed her toe, he excused himself, went to the job, and never saw him again.
Was it because they were deformed or just unkempt?
Period. Just plain old ugly.
Okay.
Hey, George, can we maybe think about, since this went over so good today, maybe tomorrow more or less the same, not on the same subject, but along the same lines, see who eats fish and who doesn't? Because the brothers don't like to eat fish. You know what I mean?
That's the story, but I've heard.
Why is that?
I've heard stories to the contrary. I've heard that was a myth. Maybe we'll explore that.
Oh, really?
Thank you very much.
All right, man.
All right. Yeah, I've heard that. But we've all heard that. But that's like the big penis thing. Who knows? But let's blow this foot thing out of here. Oh, we have a lady in Pompano. Hello.
Hi, George.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to say first off, I was so glad that you talked about that whole thing with people feeling outcast in school and depending on what they're wearing and all that stuff, because I moved to Boca from the Bay Area of California, and
Boca, they're not snooty in Boca.
Oh, man. I developed a real attitude because growing up there, I had to learn that you had to be kind of a hard ass, or and you had to have the right clothes and everything. So
what a nice, warm, friendly place.
So I pretty much beat my brains out to be accepted. but or at least to not be like beat up on my way home from school.
I couldn't afford what it would have cost me to be accepted.
Yeah, it was. Well, you know what? I used to pay one person to shoplift clothes for me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean that's
well,
pretty
you had
bad.
money
but,
to pay them to it. I was
well,
going to drop
I mean,
dime
you know,
on
she'd get me some designer jeans for like I'd spend my allowance on that because. Well,
you wanted to fit in.
You don't want to be ostracized and outcast your whole life.
Be a pariah. That sucks
That's
in high school for some reason. And you can't convince the teenagers that high school really doesn't matter. That when you go to college or go out into the workplace, what happened in high school has little or nothing to do with how successful you are in the rest of your life. But the teenagers will never understand that.
Well, yeah, because at the time you're just
that's
you're
it. That's
in
your
so
world.
much pain or whatever.
Right.
You're hurting because these people
that's
are just
your whole life.
cruel.
Exactly.
Right, and it does. I think it sometimes even leaves people feeling kind of scarred or whatever for until they get themselves away from that whole scene or whatever. But anyway,
the feet thing.
The feet thing, yeah. To be honest, I don't really care to have people touching my feet, and I don't like to touch anybody else's. But even
are you ticklish?
No, and it's not ticklish.
Okay.
They aren't ticklish. It's not like oh God, don't like.
How about
like
foot
I'm not going to freak out, but foot massage if I have just. I mean. If I've just like washed my feet or gotten out of the shower, and my boyfriend were to do that, would be okay. But if it was like a guy I was just dating and hadn't known him for like a year or two, or well, no, then.
So you're self-conscious about your feet? Is that what you're saying?
I think my feet are all right. I mean, I've been told that they're fine and nice and whatever. But I'm just not a foot person. I kind of not to take Joe's side, but they're kind of.
Hey, we're exploring here. You don't have to.
Yeah, you know.
How do you feel? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks.
All right, no problem. Joe, you might want to star 69 her, because when Janita breaks up with you any minute now, once she realizes what foot attention is all about and how she's not going to get any from you, you could go out with this woman and y'all can ignore each other's feet and live happily ever after. Women, please, ladies out there in the audience, please call and tell Joe that foot attention is important because he doesn't believe me or any of the other guys that are calling. So, and I understand that that's not all of them, as we just heard from the lady here, but nevertheless, I stand by the fact that women love foot attention. They ask for it, they appreciate it when you volunteer it, etc. and so on. Mobile in Miami, hello.
Hey, George.
Hey, what?
First time caller, I just wanted to say that enough for the massage and the fondling. I mean, fondling is what it's all about.
Uh-huh.
Putting those feet to good use. You know what I mean?
No.
You go on a date to a restaurant and, your girl starts fondling you with her feet from the other side.
Running her foot up your leg and stuff like that?
Hell yeah. All over
good stuff.
Joe, and then
does
taking
it
it
for
into
you?
the bedroom. That's another thing.
He could take it or leave it. All right.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Joe could take or leave the foot going up his leg at dinner before you've had sex with her. First time out with this girl. You've never had sex with her. Her foot's coming up your leg.
That's different. It has nothing to do with being a foot. It has to do with getting contact.
Right. She's touching you. All right. All right. But if your girlfriend, and we're not going to name her, but if, generic girlfriend, you're at dinner, she's playing footsies with you, not for you. You don't care for it.
It doesn't gross me out. It's not like,
okay.
Oh, God. No, it's not.
All right. Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hold on. Love that. Hollywood, hello. Hollywood. Click. Oh, this is great. Ladies, please, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Before we take the break, I want to hear at least from one woman who wants to talk about her feet. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Sorry, I'm not a woman.
That's all right. I am too, actually.
Let me ask you a question. What does Joe's girlfriend do for him?
Well, that's a whole other show, I think.
Well, because if she's happy with him, don't spoil her. Tell him not to do anything.
No, we're going to destroy Joe's love life. We're going to wreck the relationship.
Tell Joe that he's doing fine, and he don't have to rub her feet for her to get excited over him.
Okay.
Do the little as possible. Let the man be the king.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. That's right. Fetch my slippers, honey.
I
Pembroke
no
Pines.
means agree with that man.
Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
I sucked my girlfriend's big toe, and I think she loved it.
Yes.
Actually, like out of the shower maybe.
Right.
But, put your mouth around and do like a full sucking job on the big toe. And
I suck all the toes. I'll do them all, one at a time.
They love that stuff.
Sure they do.
You gotta
in
do it
between there.
every time you get a chance to, you gotta take advantage of every part of the body that you can.
That's right. Nibble the ankle.
Tickle the ankle, tickle the feet, suck the toe.
All right. Thank you. Clink. Boy, what's with the phone thing now?
He's sucking the big toe.
He's sucking that big toe. I've sucked a big toe.
He's pretending it's
little toe, all the toes in between. Oh, I don't. I pretend it's a woman's foot. And guess what it is? 10 till 2 on 560 WQAM.